Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My God, I hope that peaking isn't too bad. Regardless, welcome back to the High Soapbox. It has been quite the long time since the last time I had done this. We had done this. I've had a guest on the High Soapbox. I am here joined by the illustrious Jules Castillo. Did I pronounce that right? I apologize.
Yes, it's Castillo.
Castillo, got it. Sorry, I wasn't. I said that as Anglo
I'm
as
not
fuck.
Italian.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm dating an Italian woman. Like that's kind of like that's yeah. But uh so Jules here is the one of the two people as a purveyor of the, and let me just pull it up here just so I make sure I got the name completely right, the Problematic Pop Culture Podcast, where they do talk about politics, pop culture, and generally deconstructing how racist and misogynistic a lot of shit is.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. You are one half of this. Your sister B, I believe is her name. Is your co-host? Huh?
Barbie.
Barbie is your co-host. Not Margot. That's her. That's not the Margot Robbie Bobby, but the.
But the
I'm so
biblically accurate Barbie is what we call her.
Sorry, I'm still. Before we were I hit the record button. We literally had a half-hour long conversation about like 50 different things, and I'm still hung up on how proud I am of that Zuko line before we started. But regardless, so tell me a little bit, just so people can get to know you a little bit better. Tell me a little bit about your podcast and what you're doing. I want to apologize to everybody watching this on YouTube. I am currently away from my home studio in Wilmington, Delaware. I'm visiting my girlfriend in Chicago, and she made a cute little desktop area in her closet for me for streaming and the like.
Oh, that's what she did?
These are all her dresses. And these are all her. This is all her like life's work through college of art and stuff. She's a photography major.
That's so sweet of her. But yeah, the podcast. So it's so I think in the description we still have where it's like a podcast where we decide if pop culture is problematic or not. And it started.
Short answer: yes.
Well, it started because my sister, she had a project for school, and so she decided to upload it on Spotify because she worked hard on it, and it was like 15 minutes. It's the first episode. It's Twilight Problematic, and she went around and interviewed co-eds, and she was doing this project talking about Twilight, sexism, and racism, and the exploitation of the cool people. For Twilight, like who are real people who their story has been bastardized. They never saw any money from Twilight. Like they can't even get tourism because people care more to see like that stupid fucking house than they do to meet these people that were just ripped off and taken advantage of by Stephanie Meyer. And
are you Stephanie Meyer's a Mormon? Are you really surprised?
She's like.
Was it her that was Mormon, or was it the fucking bitch behind the Hunger Games?
No, it's Stephanie Meyer's Mormon. Suzanne Collins, as far as I know, is a cool person. Like
okay,
I've
cool.
never heard anything bad about Suzanne Collins. Okay. And if somebody can say that there is. But anyways, so my sister, she does this episode, and I listened to it, and I thought it was so cool. Like I was just like, that is awesome. And I was like, wait, how did you do this? Blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, hey, if I take over all the busy work, the audio processing, editing, writing up interviews, going around campus and interviewing. Yeah, if I take on the heavy lifting, then do you want to do this together? And then me and her would just come on the call, and I would send her all the research and stuff like that. And so she comes in researched and prepared, and she has her little bullet points of whatever we're going to talk about. And I would do the interviews on campus. And so the first episode I decided to do was Woodstock 99 because I really wanted to hear her opinions on the Trainwreck documentary. And it was a fucking blast. It was a fucking blast to interview everybody on campus and to get different opinions because I very much target my interviews towards the people that I'm interviewing, whether that's guests or in this case like college co-eds. And then after that, it just took off from there. And our episode that's still like pretty like, it's not the top, it's like one of the top. Is serial killer TD problematic? Like, we were on that shit before everybody else. Like, you know, when like YouTubers started being like, crime has gone too far, like blah 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 blah, and it's like me and her were on that shit. And
well, just to be clear, for people that don't have a constant hyperfixation for me being a guy and a 6'2" guy at that point, who doesn't have to deal with the constant fear of every time I step outside I could fucking die. I always found the serial killer, like, true crime stuff, like, off-putting, like how people got into it. But like my girlfriend explained to me like why people get into it, like things like what's it called, Criminal Minds and shit like that.
Well, my sister, she said it in a really excellent way, where she was just like, true crime confirms our reality as women.
Yeah.
So that's why it's popular. Like, for me, like, I really like trial footage because I care more about the justice system than I do, like, I used to be really into, like, the CSI aspect of it.
Can I ask you a question? I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it's tied and it's important. You might be more interested in this. Would you be interested in doing an all-day co-stream? Reacting in real time to the Trump Georgia trial, because it's going to be fully televised on YouTube.
Yes, I'm so down. I am so down. Like, dude, it's because I watch so much fucking trial footage, and the thing is, I'm more interested in the prosecution because I feel like a lot of like prosecutions really drop the ball when it's important. So like, they're
not dropping the ball this time. That Georgia DA, that black lady who's the Georgia DA,
she dropped the ball. They're charging a fucking former president of the United States. Like, this is not shit that you like don't like. They're prepared. Like, the FBI has a 98% conviction rate. This isn't a fucking hoedown like fucking like count.
It's like it's hard to beat one Fed charge. It is a foregone conclusion to beat two. Trump has 36.
36?
It's 36 separate charges.
Do they keep growing? Or was it that way, like, from the get-go?
They keep hitting him with more shit. Because he can't... like... And here's, like, it's like, here's my thing. It's like... And I don't know if you watch Beau of the Fifth Column. He's a great reporter. Definitely, I don't know if you watch him, but he's like really great. Definitely, you'd love him. He basically has most of our politics, but he like has a full beard. He looks like a country hick type of guy and sounds like it too. So it's very kind of like heartwarming to like hear like my like hit the real world be portrayed through a person who is kind of like tricking conservatives into thinking like, oh, he's one of us, so he must be speaking truth. But he says that he's in his coverage of all the Trump trials is that people are going to the people that are going to put Trump and his associates behind bars of testimony isn't going to come from Roger Stone. It isn't going to come from Mike Pence. It isn't going to come from Donald Trump or Rudy Giuliani. It's going to come from the people who these wealthy betters think they're better than, and therefore do not acknowledge or think about when they're in the room when they're talking. It is going to be the wait staff, the cleaning ladies, the waiters. It's going to be, it's going to be all of the interns. It's going to be all the little busybodies who make these people's lives function, but they don't ever think about.
Yeah,
these are going to be the people that are listening and hearing what's going on, and they're going to be the people that the FBI and all of these other alphabet agencies are going to go after, because they're going to be the ones like, because like, there's no fucking class solidarity between a cleaning lady and a billionaire and a billionaire and his cleaning lady.
And the other thing too is that these motherfuckers think that these NDAs will fucking save them. They won't, because that's irrelevant when you're subpoenaed.
Did you see did you see fucking Crowder's the NDA?
I'm pretty sure you're exempt from an NDA if you got subpoenaed.
Yeah. Did you see on the topic of NDAs, did you see Crowder NDA? Did you see the fucking insane NDA that Steven Crowder tried to have his staff sign?
No, what's in it?
All right, word. So I'm gonna share my screen. All right. Me. All right. So. Fuck it. We'll do it over here because it's a bigger screen. God forbid. Controversial podcaster Steven Crowder reportedly sent an insane non-disclosure agreement featuring 100,000 breach of contract penalties and interrogated staffers to plug media leaks that allegedly exposes abusive behavior at work. Abusive behavior that that involves his insanely repressed bisexuality coming out in the worst ways possible, including whipping his dick out and putting it on the shoulders of his male staffers.
Are you serious?
It says
the New York Post.
Yeah, unfortunately, but like, it was originally told through Mediaite. The staffers were given until.
I just can't believe this is like a news article. Like, what the fuck?
Well, we have to remember, right? Like, Steven Crowder is objectively a awful person. Like, listen, we all know.
But like, what compels you to want to put your dick on male staff, like any staff? Like, what compels you to?
I'll tell you, is because he is a closeted bisexual man who just got.
I don't even think it's
who
that.
has spent years railing against gay people.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's like, yes, it is the homophobia, but like I think it's this deep sense of like, and like, yes, it's like easy to chalk things up to be like,
they also said he did it to get reactions out of people.
Which he for sure is. Like, you know, if you're extremely homophobic, and I'm sorry, especially as a man, if you're extremely homophobic, you're
gay, bro.
But also the other thing, it's like how sexually disturbed do you have to be to express your sexuality, if you want to call it that, in such an invasive and violent way, and you're on your shit about like how the gays are corrupting the youth and stuff like that, when you're literally a fucking pervert making people sign NDAs so you can put your dick on their shoulder. Like you are so warped. You are so.
He said that if you find nut knocking uncomfortable, this is not the place for you to work.
I've known 12-year-old boys who understand the concept of like keep your balls to yourself, like in your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know 12-year-old boys who have better self-control than this, and the thing is that's what's weird about these people in power and these people with this much money is like you would think that like with a certain level of money and success would come like, you know, getting your shit together and just not being a problem. Like if I had that much money and that much success, like I would just shut the fuck up. But it's like it doesn't do that. It actually just reveals like how much control like they think they're entitled to have now. Like they're so fucking weird to me. Like also it's like these are the people that like want to fucking like talk about like their moral stances and stuff like that. I don't want to hear your a moral objective to anything if you like put your privates on people.
I don't want to hear I don't want to hear your morals if people's existing in public goes like just as just people goes against your morals. So like that seems like you got shitty morals and you're a bad person.
I really pissed off this one person who I'm not going to say who they are, but they had a significant following.
Dox them. Who gives a shit?
But I think you saw the video. You know, but like I really pissed off this person because I was just holding my stance where I was just like, I don't want to hear your opinion on jack shit if you're not registered to vote or if you don't vote. Like,
oh my god, were they one of those like anti-electoral lefties or some shit?
I think you saw the comments where they were just like, oh, the polls at my place were traumatizing, and I'm like, what? Like, like, okay, I get it. It's stressful to like go to the polls, I guess, but like, it was just weird. Like they were just coming up with like every excuse in the book, and I'm just like, I understand that some people can't even afford to like take time off work to go vote.
And I mean, that is by design. That is absolutely by design.
But for me in that video, I just said like, you know, if you can afford to vote and you're not doing it, like you need to go for the people that can't afford to vote. Like, yeah. And the thing is that it's like my stance is like, because I really don't, because like I'm a communist. So if you're a communist, you're a Democrat. You believe in like the power of the people. You believe that that's your civic duty to contribute to your.
You don't have to like the Democrats either. A lot of them suck. But
I mean a Democrat. I mean a Democrat in the sense of you believe in,
you believe in the democratic process.
Yeah, you believe in the democratic process. You believe in democracy. You don't necessarily believe in like the more Republican like idea of government, which is like, you know, we should have like these leaders that have like this, like how the state kind of supersedes the people and stuff like that. I don't believe in that. I believe more in like absolute democracy if you're gonna have it at all. So like the thing is we don't have that, but the best thing I can do is vote. Yeah. And the shit that pisses me off too about this person is they say they're a communist. I'm like, you're a communist and you don't vote?
No, they're you know what they probably were? A tankie. Oh, you don't know what a tankie is? No. Sister, I'm about to learn you some shit today. Okay. All right. So, you know the types of tankies are the types of leftists that are just authoritarian for other power structures. Tankies it originates from don't get me wrong, but like this is broadly correct. I might get the locations wrong, but whatever. Back before the Second World War popped off, tankies were communists in the UK. That there was a split in communism worldwide in the Western world after the Soviet Union moved tanks into Yugoslavia.
Okay.
Which was very much anti, like in an invasion sense to like take over, and which is against communist types of principles, right? And there was a split. Yeah. There were the people that supported the Soviet Union still and went to bat for them on every fucking thing that they did, and then there were the people who were communists who were like, no, fuck them, they're authoritarian, right? And the people that continued to suck Soviet cock were called tankies. Right. And so in today's modern context, a tankie is someone who positions themselves as like a left winger, but they will have cognitive dissonance in the sense of if they will buy Russia's lines on Ukraine, hook, line, and sinker. They will say they're denazifying Ukraine. It belongs to Russia. They will believe genuinely with their whole chest that NATO is encroaching on Russian territory, that's not how anything works. They are the types of people that will. They don't believe in electoralism usually. Granted, this can vary tanky to tanky, but by and large they generally hate the Democratic Party. They tell people not to engage in the electoral process, that mutual aid and community building is the only way to do it.
That's exactly what they were on, because they were saying basically that like voting is like writing a letter to Santa Claus, and I'm like, how can you be a communist and not believe in like the election process? Like that is
we
not
call
how
these people red fash.
It's like, how are you supposed to speak for the people? How are you supposed to say that you're, aligning yourself with the base of the structure when you don't believe that the base should have a voice fundamentally if you don't vote, and if you tell people not to vote, and if you tell people it doesn't matter? Like, and also this is what fucking Republicans count on, is they count on the youth not to vote. They count on, because like the thing is their biggest voter turnout is people like are older and stuff like that, and surprisingly good. But for Democrats, like it's like the voter turnout is mainly older people. Like I go to my local poll and I'm the only one my age there. It's just a bunch of old people, and they're Democrats. The thing is like it's like, you know, how can you claim to care about the future? How can you claim to care about, you know, the base being heard? How can you claim to, like, care about abolishing the state when you're keeping the state in power by being passive and not voting?
Yeah, because realistically, like, the thing that these tankies say, like these red fascists say, is
just lazy.
It's lazy because here's the thing: they're also not doing the community building. They're also not doing the community building. They're not doing the mutual aid. What they talk, and here's the thing: you have to do both. You win electorally if you do the mutual aid at the bottom, but you have to do both. You can't change the Democratic Party from the inside to make them more left wing if you're only trying to put people on at the national level and you're not getting people in at the local level.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is like these same people will be like sad about like say for example they'll just be like, oh well, vote choices are shit, and all it's just like, well, that's, you know, what happens when people don't vote.
Yeah, welcome to the consequences of anti-electoralism. You know what anti-electoralism on the left has also gotten us? A stacked Supreme Court that keeps stripping our rights away.
Yeah, like this is what happens when people don't enforce how important voting is like we end up with two fucking parties when, like, ideally, like any other country has at least like 3 parties that
it's not even the parties, it's the way that the parties have control. In fact, I would argue that the Republican Party primary process is inherently more democratic than the Democratic Party's primary process. Because
the Democratic Party's process is a lot of
superdelegates, and it's a lot of party elites having power over the picks more than the actual party members at in a broader sense. The superdelegates, like Hillary beat like Biden. I would wager Biden beat Bernie. Like Biden beat Bernie in 2016. Like Hillary beat Bernie in 2016, and Biden beat Bernie again in 2020.
The Democratic,
because of the superdelegates.
Problem with the Democratic Party. Well, the problem with the Democratic Party is that they like to pretend that they're for like the people, but the thing is that they're so.
They get mad at Biden when he does pro-union shit.
Yeah, and they're also like so nepotistic. Like it's not. Like it's not like we're getting like a for the people kind of person, and also they're very strategic with the kind of people they let get their media and get popular, because the Democratic Party likes to do this thing where they want you to think that they're the forward party and stuff like that. But like Biden, I would argue he's a moderate. He's not.
Can I tell you? You know what the saddest thing about Biden is? He is the most left-wing president in my lifetime.
Sure.
I was born in '97. I lived my earliest years through Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden. Biden blows Obama out the fucking water. And honestly, I kind of get why Obama was like as much of a moderate as he was and as a conservative as he was, because it's like he was the first black president. Like he had a lot of lines he had to toe. Like and
Obama didn't care about immigration, like not in the sense of like because the thing is people were talking about, oh, like it's a cages thing that was like here since Obama, and it's like yes, and then Trump made it worse, and like but the thing is like I remember during Obama there was a lot of stress from like everybody in my school about like them or family members getting deported. Like I feel like Obama was this era for a lot of white people to think that the U.S. has moved forward just because we have a POC in power. Like, yes, that's important. Like, and then, but at the same time, it was like
a black person being president also broke the conservative mind.
Well, it's because the thing is like I think people when they saw Obama getting elected, like it was great. It was like, you know, it was a massive like, you know, like change in history. And the thing is, he wasn't the first black president in North America. That was Vicente Guerrero in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like I think that America thought that they had finally like progressed, when it's just like, you know what, like it was weird because the thing is like, so say for example when Mexico became independent, our first president was Vicente Guerrero. He was black, and he's the reason that as soon as Mexico's government became stable, they abolished slavery immediately. That's why the Underground Railroad also ran south. So for him to, not really care about all these deportation policies and things like that, and things that very much harm the Hispanic communities, especially in the borderlands. It's right. Kind of a slap in the face to like a country that it like it's like the Underground Railroad ran south too, and then it's like for a lot of Mexicans, we thought that there was going to be this sense of camaraderie and having a black president, and then but the amount of deportations that happened, the amount of like border patrol becoming just like, I just remember especially like in middle to like high school, there's just so much anxiety around even going to the border, even if you were American.
Yeah, because they're gonna harass the fuck out of you.
Being able, am I gonna be able to get back over, or are they gonna see my last name, or are they gonna? No, I mean, for me, I didn't have to worry about it that much because I was light skinned, but I knew a lot of kids who were worried that, their visas or something, or, their papers were going to they're like, I knew a lot of kids who were worried about not being able to go back to school and stuff like that because they would cross from Juarez to El Paso. And that was becoming a problem because for the first time we had a serious rule implemented where you had to have an address in El Paso. And before, so say for example, if you lived in Juarez but you're American, you were born in the U.S. but you're this is literally the border town. Juarez is over here, and then there's El Paso in the States. And so there was this thing where kids who lived over here because they just happen to live over here for now because rent is cheaper or whatever would just be like, oh, I'll just put my friend's address and not worry about it. And then, but after Obama, started to worry about it because teachers were being pressured to, and administrators were being pressured to investigate things like that.
I'm so fucking mad that I swear to God, if the Democrats get control of the House, Senate, and the presidency, and they don't fucking codify DACA, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna name my relation to them or who they are because I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but someone very important to me is a dreamer. Someone very important to me in my life is a dreamer, and I'm
friends are dreamers.
Well, say what?
Half my friends are dreamers.
I mean, you live in Texas. I'm not surprised.
I live in El Paso, Texas, and I go to school.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But yeah, no, those kind of programs that can be extremely detrimental if because
it was saved against the courts saved it by a hair's breadth when Trump was trying to kill that shit.
Well, and the thing is here in the borderlands we talk about migration politics a lot because a lot of people say immigration. It's really migration. My family has been in this area since before Texas was annexed by the United States. So for the Chicanos as a people, I'm speaking specifically for Chicanos. For Chicanos as a people, we've been in this area since before, and if you can trace back your native roots, you've been here even longer than that. But the thing is there's this, I don't really understand. I mean, it's racism, but with the states kind of wanting to other Hispanics, and it's just this wasn't your neck of the woods, dude, before us. And also I
want to find a hot parking lot with no cars in it, and I want to take Greg Abbott and put a baby lock on his back wheel and just leave him there.
The other thing too about the borderlands here is that I remember there's this person in class that actually low key pissed me off. I ended up actually it was the first time I ever told a professor hey, that actually offended me. Because in class we're allowed to have a safe space, blah blah blah. It's they have things in class where they're racism and stuff like that will not be tolerated, and And like when you have these discussion courses, you have to be able to, be mature, hear the other side, obviously. Like, but there's a difference between um, having a discourse and disrespect, or having an idea and being ignorant.
It baffles me how many conservatives conflate like free speech with being able to be say like heinous shit.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, this person pissed me off because they were saying that, oh yeah, El Paso used to be really Irish way back in the day. I'm like, what? Like, this person was saying, like, before it was really Mexican, it was really Irish, and I was like,
it's always been Mexican, you fucking troglodyte.
Yeah, like you fucking plebe. Like, are you dumb?
I'm a Yankee.
Like,
I am a Yankee, and I know that shit.
Yeah, well, it was so fucking frustrating because I like made a point where I was just like, not like no, like we're Irish in power. Yes, like it, like before, before like the fucking 50s, maybe, or maybe a little after that, or maybe in the 70s, but like before.
Good, sorry.
Like were the Irish like occupying there are a history with the Irish here because of the Irish joining the Mexican side of the war, but the thing is that doesn't mean Irish weren't still racist. The thing is that were the Irish in power? Yes. Were they our judges? Yes. Were they living on the west side in the nicer parts of town? Yes. Were they cops? Yes. Were they? But this town wasn't more Irish. It's just that those were the people that had access to education and the nicer parts of town because
they were the white people that were able. They were the white people that were able to get access to the levers of power.
Like, have you not heard of segregation? Like, segregation also segregates you from important jobs in the community. Like, like being a judge or being the mayor.
Irish people had been in America long enough at that point where they were able to be considered part of the great white majority.
Yeah, and so when this person is just like, well, when El Paso was more Irish, and I was like, why do you sound like you missed that? Like that was when the vast majority, because El Paso is 98% Hispanic, and now yes, like most of our city council is Hispanic and stuff like that because now people have access to education, like because of affirmative action stuff in 60s and stuff like that. Because El Paso, I'll give it one thing, El Paso historically that I know of, when there was a call to end segregation and start with affirmative action, El Paso was pretty quick on that shit. El Paso was like, oh sweet, we get to go to the nice schools now. Like the Mexicans get to go. Sweet, let's go.
Because the federal government mandating that shit kind of took the wind out of the local power brokers' hands.
Well, and my grandma, she was a principal back in the 70s or whatever, or no, this was in the 60s. But there was one black kid in the entire fucking neighborhood, and the school districts wanted to send him to the school for basically black kids and really dark Mexicans, but that would mean he would have to get bused across town. And then she was just like, nah. And then I think she wrote him down as white for lulz, and got him into her school. And then they tried to give her some shit about it, but she didn't care. She was just like,
take it up with the federal government and see how that goes. Suck my dick. Yeah.
Yeah, literally, talk to the governor. I don't give a shit. And because I think my family likes to tell that story and be like, wow, she was so progressive. And I was like, I don't know if it was so much that. I mean, she was progressive, but I think it was also that she was just empathetic. She's like, I'm not going to make this poor little kid bus to the other side of town just so he can go to school. When he could literally walk across the street and he's here.
Yeah. Stupid.
That's the fucked up shit to do.
So I actually grew up in a pretty nice in a nice enough neighborhood, but it was pretty nice. It was up, but it was also up the street from a place called Salesianum, which is a private boys' school. And I always
Was it a Catholic private boys' school, or was it just a private?
I think it was supposed to be Catholic.
If you don't know if it was Catholic, it's not Catholic.
I mean, the thing is that they had pair classes and stuff with the Ursuline and Padua girls, which were two independent Catholic girls' schools in the same area. Wilmington has a really large Polish, Irish, Italian, and I think.
But did you like go
German.
to mass? Did you have like religion class?
Oh, I didn't fucking go. I went to a choice school based in like a science-based choice school because I'm not an idiot. And also my parents are teachers. They're not paying fucking like tens of grands a year for me to go.
My parents paid for me to go to Catholic school. I went to a good Catholic school. I went to a college.
My mom very much didn't force us to be religious, which I appreciate.
No, they didn't send me there because of religious reasons. They sent me there because like
the schools were better.
It's like, yeah, well, like it was a better school, but also it's like 99% of the students there move on to college and get accepted and get like scholarships and stuff. Like they were, it was more their strategy of like.
You get a kick out of this. So in my home state of Delaware, the big private schools, Tower Hill, Salesianum, Ursuline, Padua. Tower Hill is unisex, Salesianum is boys, Padua, Ursuline, girls only. Their college outcomes are worse than a lot of the public schools in Delaware.
Damn! So you're paying all that money for jack shit.
Like, yeah, you're paying all that money for status. That's what you're paying for. So like the school I went to, Conrad was like had really good outcomes at the like for the same thing with a lot of the other ones, like and even like a lot of like the public schools, like how like even like schools that were like considered like rougher, like Howard, Dickinson, places like a lot of years had better college outcomes compared to the private schools. You know, and it's I've always loved that about my state, because like if you tell someone that you went to Tower Hill or you went to Tower, especially Tower Hill, because the Tower Hill people are awful, or you went to if you tell people you went to Tower Hill or Sally's, like that immediately tells you, oh, if you went to Tower Hill, you're an awful human being, because all of the people that went to Tower Hill and went to like games and stuff, because we had like private and public schools like go against each other in sports and stuff. Terrible human beings, awful. And if you went to Sally's, you have a reputation for being a predator.
Oh my god! So Loretto,
I remember we had a lock in like in my choir. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish it. I just wanted to set this last bit to nail this part home. I remember my I had a lock in with my choir, and someone was like brought like some of their friends from Sally's to it, and my buddy Will Brock at the time like told him and like three of our other guy friends, hey, like just for me, like keep an eye out on like my girlfriend and like some of the other girls around our age too. There's Sally's guys here, like let's make sure just keep an eye on the Sally's guys and make sure they're like not alone with anybody. That type of shit. It was bad. Sorry, continue. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I went to Loretto Academy, and that like from pre-K to like 5th, it's co-ed, and then from 6 up, it's just girls. And
it's like the school my mom went to at Ursuline. It's an all-girls Catholic school.
Yeah. Bab stayed there from pre-K all the way to 12th. I only stayed until 7th grade because they found out I was a fag, and I had to leave.
You're like, no, pray the gay away. I can change this. Whatever.
Public school was a trip. So my parents sent us there because they wanted us to get a good education. It was that kind of school that it's like, if you went to Loretto, like people knew that you were going to college, like, and not like just college, but like university. Like they knew that, like its thing is like for excellence, and like it does. The school very much did have a aura of elitism. Feminine excellence. Elitism, but also like feminine excellence. Like there was an emphasis on like the hot girls or the smart girls. Like that was kind of like the environment we grew up in, where it's like it like, and because like you That's had weird. Uniforms. Yeah, well, like we had uniforms, so it's not like we like really had like much self-expression. So like the way that they oriented our education was to make us like, it made it toxic for the girls because, you know, they all hated each other. But the only way that we could compete against each other, if it wasn't like superficial shit, like, oh, like you,
it's like, academic.
Yeah, and so the girls who were like the top, like, you know, the you know, like the valedictorian types, they were mean. They
did some heinous shit.
Yeah, they did heinous shit, and they fucked with you psychologically, so that way you would be too stressed during your test to get a better score than them. And like, and that's like what it was. And like for me, Barb had a blast because Barb is like, I mean, not all the time. Like she got bullied. Like, but the thing is like in an all girls school, everybody gets bullied at some point. Like that's like it's
I mean,
like the.
Did y'all ever consider punching one of them mean girls in the throat?
No, that was when I was in high school. Did I tell you about that?
No, I just like I just think like the best way for like I feel like the best way for like, you know, a woman being bullied by another woman is just punch the woman in the throat.
Well, I got jumped in high school because the thing is they're paying a shit ton of money, so they're not gonna get like expelled. And but yeah, I got jumped for being gay. And but the thing is like no, but when I was in high school though, this is when I was at America's high school. And this was a public high school, but like my mom was like, if you're gonna be in public high school, you're gonna do dual credit. Like she was very much like, you know, like AP do dual credit.
If you're gonna be gay, you're gonna have to excel.
Wait, what?
She says if your ass is gonna be gay and can't go to this Catholic school, you're gonna have to excel in public school and beat everybody's ass.
You're gonna be an accelerant gay. No, well, not my parents didn't care that I was gay. They knew. I think they didn't expect the world to be as homophobic as it. I think they thought that because gay marriage wasn't legal.
Thousands of dollars.
No, it was that. So I have my uncles are gay. My uncle Knack and Uncle Marcus. They've been married for 27 years or something. But the thing is like I grew up with my. Yeah, I grew up knowing my Uncle Knack and Uncle Marcus, and all I needed in my vernacular was to know that they were in love. And when I grew up and I found out that kids were homophobic and they would say shit like gays are going to hell, I'm like, well, what is gay? And they would describe essentially what my uncle's relationship was, and I would freak out and I would cry, and I would just be like, they're not going to hell, they're good men, they love God. And it was fucked up. But it was like my parents, they were so openly okay with gay people, they were just so openly allies that they thought that extended to everyone that they found to be logical.
And kind.
Yeah, well, they didn't understand the violence that still existed. I think they expected me to get bullied for being gay, but they didn't expect it to get violent, and they didn't expect. The other thing too is just my parents were just straight up later where they were like, we didn't understand the level of psychological abuse that goes into being gay because we're not gay.
Yeah.
And so they didn't realize how damaging that would be and how damaging that rhetoric would be, because I think they thought that like telling me, oh, you're not going to hell, like we still love you. I think they thought that was enough, but it's like I don't spend the majority of the day with them. I spend the majority of the day at that dogmatic school. Yeah. So like that's what it was. And yeah, school was a fucking trip. I lost my virginity at 13 to a classmate when I was in middle school. And we were in the chapel, and I don't know if I should like say, well, whatever, Loretto, fucking sue me, like I don't care. But
was it consensual, or like did he like was it not consensual?
It was my classmate. Like we were classmates together. We were both 13-year-old little girls, like figuring out that we liked girls, and like and I say I lost my virginity because we did shit, like, you know. But the thing is like I remember going into it like questioning whether or not I was really bi, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna top, because either I'm going into this and I'm definitely bi, or I'm not, and I'll just like know because I'll top and I'll know whether or not I like it. And then I went into it being like, okay, let's find out if I'm bi, and I left and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm a lesbian, like like yeah. But yeah, no. What's weird is as I left that school, but then my first boyfriend, he went to Cathedral High School, which was the brother school of that of Loretto Academy. And it was like funny because I left that school. I was like, I'm never gonna deal with any of these people again. And then my first boyfriend went to
surprise.
Yeah, well, that was even worse because that like here's how you know I'm from Texas. So guess how old he was and I was when we started dating.
In an appropriate amount.
Yeah. I was 14 and 8 months when I met him, and he waited until I was 15 to ask me out. So that way the Romeo and Juliet law would protect him because he was 18. It's Texas.
I was 18 years old, and I wanted absolutely nothing to do with anybody still in high school.
Yeah.
I like the only thing I can think of in my mind with that is pedophilia, because like at like
No,
even
it is.
and like 100%, because it's like I think about what a 15-year-old like I was 18, 19 years old, talked with this chick that was like at like the hostess at like a bar. I thought she was cute, we vibed, I thought she was pretty. I found out she went to my old high school and was a sophomore in high school. I ghosted her like it was nobody's business. I'm sorry.
I would go to confession.
I felt I felt like I wanted to take a shower. I felt gross.
I've lost my religion completely, but the concept of like if I got like if somebody hit on me who was younger, I'd want to go to confession. Actually, this did happen though. Like it was weird because I kept thinking about lately. I was thinking about like that relationship, and then I was also thinking about like this like talk because on TikTok that motherfucker what's his name, the weirdo who's just like, let's go to the Bible to refer to whether or not a woman's mature or not.
I feel like
Did you hear about that?
I didn't, but I feel like if you I feel like that if you have to like if you don't already like in your mind know what like the base level maturity is for like a potential sexual partner, and you have to like justify it to be anything lower than what it should fucking be, I think you need to be on a list.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so I was at school and I was like, and it made me laugh because, and that's when I decided, okay, I'm not going to talk to like the dude I told you about. We can talk about him too. Fuck it. I blocked it. And then
it's like the fucking it's kind of like the fucking guys that you see at like it's the girls that bring like the 21-year-olds to prom and shit.
Yeah, well, no, but there was this kid. So I was at school. And there's like apparently there's some little kids that can come from the high school if they're doing dual credit and they can come on campus and use the resources, whatever.
Oh
so
no!
I'm talking. This like little 16-year-old child.
Did a 16-year-old try to rizz you up?
He was like
was he like a squeaker?
He made me feel like I did when I was like whenever I was like 16 and I was like babysitting like little kids, and you know there's always like you're 16 years old and then there's this little boy and he's like, you're like, really pretty, like that's how I looked at him. I looked at him like those adorable 4-year-olds who look at like a grown ass fucking teenager who are like, I love you, and it's like
you're a literal like you're like you are a child and I have
and he was a little dweeb, he was a little nerd, and he just like wanted to join the conversation of me talking about like Frankenstein Modern Day Prometheus by Mary Shelley with this other dude. And so we're talking about Mary Shelley, and then this dude just wanted to interject about like,
he's awkward as shit. Yeah.
Well, and he's just like, because I'm just like, yeah, and Mary Shelley is the first sci-fi, and he was like, what, really? And at first I thought he was sexist, and then I realized he's a child.
Like, yes, yeah, you have to, yeah. To be fair, I didn't know that until I saw the extra history like series on Frankenstein either.
Well, no, it's because like so at first I thought, oh, maybe he's just kind of like a short college kid. Like, I'm not gonna tell him he looks like a child. That's rude. And then but he's like, so at first I thought he was sexist. So I was like actually engaging with him. I'm like, yes, like Frankenstein is the first science fiction, and so we're just going back and forth. And then I'm just like, I was like, where? And I was like, who are your professors this semester? And he was like, oh, I'm doing dual credit. I'm just here for the resources. And I'm like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 16. And I was like, oh, it's a baby. And he just starts to blush. He's so embarrassed, and he's like, I'm a man, like, and I'm just like, you can't buy a beer or join the army.
You are legally not a man. I'm so sorry, kiddo.
Yeah, and then he's just. And he just like goes out being like, well, yeah, like, and I was like, good for you though, stay in school, get ahead, blah blah blah. And then he was just like, yeah, like, I've been told I'm mature for my age, and I'm like, okay. Okay. And then,
that's a red. That is a red flag for the people in his life, by the way.
Yeah, and so then he has to go, and he just like stands there and like stares at me a little awkwardly, and he was like, it was really nice to meet you. Like just like and I'm just like, day, like, and then I was like, nice to meet you too. And then he leaves, and then I'm just laughing with my friend because I'm just like, he's so adorable. He's a little baby, like. But that's how I view younger people. I view them as children. I view them as innocent little stupid things that don't know how to do taxes. I don't view them as because we were talking about this with the other day about the older dude that I was talking to, and it's like, yeah, it's weird to look at somebody significantly younger than you with significantly less life experience, like whether or not they're like physically mature or not, and to view them as anything but a child. That's weird.
Like I think when you're I think when you're like in like your late 30s and 40s and you're talking to like someone who's like in their like mid to like early mid or late 20s, like they're technically an adult, and like there's I think like on certain levels you have to for those people, I think they engage with us depending on what age we're at, like in different ways, but like none of those ways I think involve genitalia meeting in any way. They should for people that are well adjusted.
I was telling you about the guy who was significantly older than me. We're like, well, first of all, why is a 37-year-old man in the DMs of a college student? And I was like, fuck. Like, I feel like a little kid now. Like,
sorry about that.
No, it was funny. I mean, it got through to me. Like, I literally told you, I'm like, be brutal. I'm prepared for it. Like, it's just like, I don't know. On TikTok, there's just been like, because there was that weird dude just being like physically mature, I'm not saying I want a kid, but I'm saying when she's physically mature, then referring to what the Bible says. There's people that say this shit on TikTok, and I'm just like, how the fuck do these people have followings? And it just disturbs me, and it's like
fascism. The root of all forms of fascism are based in misogyny.
Yeah, well, because you need that inherent power structure.
Yeah, and it's like any type of fascism can like racism, like white supremacy, which is fascistic in nature, is, as you very well know, is kind of has its kind of roots in misogyny as well, of these scary black men and women are going to are going to take our beautiful white women and are going to they're going to
what is it with that
the same people that worry about that shit are the same ones that watch cuckold porn with black men fucking other men's wives.
Yeah, well, but that's the other thing too, is I was talking about, so in my materialist theory course, we were talking about obviously means of production and stuff like that, and then we were talking about how if you're a communist, you're supposed to be an egalitarian, and so we were talking about this guy wants to have a conversation about universal healthcare and how to and how if you're a communist you believe that everybody should have access to universal healthcare and blah 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 blah. And he's kind of just going on the basic rant of if I work for the government I should be able to get I should be able to get a cast when I break my leg, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, word, brother. And then I was just like, and if I'm contributing to tax-paying dollars I should be able to get an abortion. And he was like, and it's like, yeah, dude, if you believe that if you're a communist, you're an egalitarian. If you're an egalitarian, you're a feminist. If you believe that women are people that have complete bodily autonomy, then you believe that I should have access to an abortion if you also believe in universal healthcare, because abortion is healthcare. And my professor literally agrees with me. And then this dude is kind of just frozen because he's never had that conversation before. And he was just like, well, I feel like that's taking it a bit too far. And I'm like,
explain. And let me deconstruct your entire worldview in the next 15 minutes. Because it's here's the thing. It's well, want to know the ideology that I find the most absurd and stupid?
What?
Libertarianism.
Oh. They're just
and the reason I say that is because you would think the pro-choice narrative would be in line with the libertarian shit, but it just goes to show that libertarians are just Republicans that want to smoke weed and fuck kids, because by their own tenets they should an abortion even if a fetus is considered a person, which it's not, you as an individual should not be hindered in your life should not be hampered just because of this other person. That's the crux of their thing. Selfishness is very like it's like self like objectivism and libertarianism.
It's weird that, and it's weird that
Ayn Rand was pro-choice. Ayn Rand was pro-choice, and she was a fucking monster.
Yeah, but the concept of liberty seems to, especially within post-war politics, or even throughout history. But the thing is that narrative of freedom seems to only extend to men.
Yep.
The narrative of personal absolute freedom, that's something that only extends to men, because the thing is that for example, when it comes to the abortion topic, it's seen as inherently selfish if you don't want to keep the baby and you're able to. I don't owe that Sour Patch Kid shit.
Yep.
100%. I don't and the thing is it's my uterus. I get to be selfish with it. I get to be
I wasn't always a perfect feminist, so I know what the mindset is of someone who's a little leery on abortion and stuff.
The thing is men will be well, the baby needs you to survive, and I'm okay, you could have kidney failure tomorrow. You would need my kidney to survive. Does that mean I'm going to give it to you? Fuck you.
Can I actually say what that all of that is just white smoke. They don't actually care about the shit. What it actually is and you know this too, but I'm saying this for the mic, and this is as someone who used to have some level of sympathy for this argument before I became a better feminist, and that was, what about if the dad wants the kid? Doesn't
they never do?
Right.
It's a
right, exactly. But here's the thing. That is that control. It all just comes back to men controlling women, and it's it
really does. That's because it's oh well, what if I want to keep the kid? It's okay, well, it's not your body anymore. You relinquished your responsibility was to hold in your cum, and you decided not to, and now it's stuck in me. So now this is my decision. You relinquished the choice of whether or not anything good can happen here after because if we're going to talk about choice, if we're going to talk about birth control, if we're going to talk about self-control when it comes to women, because they're why don't you just not have sex? And it's just well, don't say that to men.
Because that shit has been because abstinence has been the solution, and it's worked swimmingly.
But the fallacy with that is if a man wants to keep a kid, that's that fantasy dude we think of. That's not a fantasy dude. If a dude is if I got pregnant and I was I'm not keeping it, and a dude was well, I want you to keep it, and I'm gonna take
make
some
me
weird
motherfucker.
Yeah, it's fuck you. It's not your body. You don't get to decide just because.
I will drink 3 fists of alcohol and throw myself down a flight of stairs before you can even file the fucking paperwork, dude. Fuck you want.
For real. I'm not and also it's I'm not a vessel for your if I decide I don't want to do that, I get to say I don't want to do that because it's my body. And also the thing is, they agreed in the Geneva Convention that forced pregnancy is a war crime.
Yep.
Because it's inherently taking away somebody's personal liberty. And also the other thing too, pregnancy
there is a reason the United States is not part of the International Court of Law.
Yeah. Well, but the other thing too is that the thing with abortion and with that got me. But the thing is with abortion, what pisses me off and what gets me so annoyed about it, because let's remove all the religious arguments from it, because those are just inherently not logical, because if you believe in the law of the free, we don't follow your religion. If we're going to go into it from a sociological standpoint, and if you're going to have the opinion that women are complete people, then it's just dumb to me, because there's so many equivalencies you can make when it comes to the medical field and stuff like that. But fundamentally, when it comes down to it, I'm a human being with my own body. I can decide what I want to do with it and what I don't want to do with it. How you can decide whether or not you want to donate your kidney. I can decide whether or not I want to donate my uterus for the next 9 to 10 months. It's actually 10 months. It's just you can't tell for the first month that the baby's in there. But I'm not donating my uterus to this little piece of shit thing that I don't fucking care about. And the thing is oh.
If it does come into the world, it's not going to feel welcome, which is going to lead to making a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, well, and also the thing is with when it comes to the concept of preventative measures and stuff like that, we know that preventative So yes, like wear a condom, use birth control, blah 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 blah. But we know that telling people just to not have sex doesn't work. And also, like the other thing too
But they
is I have a
pretend that it does.
very
They continue to pretend that it does.
well, and I have a very hard opinion on. Okay, I don't like. I know there's a chat here. I don't care if they all hate me for this, but like for me, I respect teen mothers completely. I respect all the plight that they've had to go through. However, I believe that if you are under 18, you're a child. And you are not capable of understanding the consequences of sex. That's why I don't believe that you're capable. Like, obviously, kids are gonna have sex or kids are gonna get assaulted. That's just always gonna happen. But I don't believe that.
And 9 out of 10 times, someone in that person's life deserves to be shot.
Yeah. So, like, the thing is like with kids under the age of 18, I think it's really weird that we've normalized teen pregnancy and we've normalized the concept of like a teen mother when like it's two children. Like, yes, that child mothered that other child, but they're both still children. And the concept of like, oh well, you got pregnant, now you have to grow up, and it's like she's a little kid. Like what do you mean she should accept the consequences? These are consequences that you can't possibly comprehend at that age. And
it's
I'm not
arguably even worse because the birth rates, the way birth rates are calculated in this country, are heavily weighted in favor to the number of teen mothers in teen births.
Well, and the thing is that
which is like if you think about that, that's fucking insane.
Well, and now like a 13-year-old who was raped is about to start 7th grade with a baby, and that happened in Mississippi.
Thanks, thanks, Republicans.
Psychologically, I don't see a big difference between a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old. Physically, yes, there is a difference. There's a reason that by like the medieval period, they knew that like, hey, like that's why we had the concept of like sweet 16, because like that is when women are considered less likely to die, based on age alone, having children. So even in medieval times, they knew that, hey, it's probably not a good idea to get her pregnant before like the age of like 14 because she's probably going to die because kids aren't supposed to make kids.
Right. And this is also during a time period where most people died before the age of 40.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is that, well, it's not that most people died before the age of 40. It's that if you didn't live to be 20, like most people died before the like age of 20. Like a lot of kids died, a lot of babies died. So
there's actually why the first birthday was so important, because up until I think the 1950s or 60s.
If you made it to 20 though, especially if you made it to 40, you were gonna live to be 80.
Yeah, as long as you didn't like catch a cold or get a staph infection
it's just the life expectancy was 40 because there was so many infant deaths.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, it's like this. Like the naming ceremony after the first year was so important because it's like if the baby lived a year, it's probably going to live to see year 10. And they're like, we're not going to name the fucking thing if it's going to die before the year is up. So we're going to wait a year to see if it survives.
You're going to get attached to it, like.
Yeah, literally, like you don't name something that you have a feeling is going to die. There's a reason why the first birthdays were. And by the way, our medicine, like our natal care prenatal care was so fucking bad that like the first naming ceremony was a tradition that was commonly practiced even in the United States up until the fucking 1950s.
But hold on, let me finish my point though. So like when it comes to kids, I personally believe that if we're gonna acknowledge that kids are kids and kids are not capable of understanding the psychological consequences of sex, of the medical consequences of sex, the potentially deadly consequences of sex, whether that be through STDs or having a pregnancy that can kill you. That 13-year-old could have died like that. So I personally think that it is way more ethical, in my opinion. This is from a non-religious standpoint. It's way more ethical, in my opinion, to provide the child with an abortion rather than the trauma of birth. Because
I think in a lot of cases, like unless like you are in a position to care for the child with both from a financial, emotional,
I don't think that a child should have to be put through that trauma. And I don't think that a child should have to be put through that.
Child, like anyone before the age of 18 is not included in that prerequisite.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about children. And like people will be like, "Whoa," on me about that because they're
like
like, "So wait,
abortion
what do you?"
should be the default. Abortion should be the
Yeah,
default.
like
Like
they should be a medical default when you're a child. And the thing is, I haven't really heard a teen mom disagree with me yet. Like I'm sure there's going to be. I know a lot of teen
like yeah,
moms that
you'll get one that's
they love their
brainwashed
children.
enough in Catholicism
Well,
or whatever.
they love their children. They wouldn't take back their children, obviously, because they gave birth to them. They fell in love with them. They breastfed this. Like there's an like their mom. Like and they love their children. But the thing is like most teen moms that I know do not want their children to become teen parents, and also have very I don't know. I feel like there definitely is that generational thing where that trauma can repeat itself. But
Yeah.
a lot of parents that I know that were teens that are now adults, they're very much like, my goal is just to get my kid through high school without them getting pregnant. Like, that is just like, and my mom was that
which
way.
is not necessarily like setting them up for success longer than that.
I mean, if you're a woman, yeah, like you're pretty fucked. Like if you get pregnant in high school, like your education gets cut in half. You have to go immediately into the workforce if you don't have your family supporting you. Your life is essentially completely orientated around this child because now you're expected to become an adult out of nowhere.
Or you and your mom are going to take a scheduled trip to another state.
Yeah. And so and so for me, like growing up, and then hold on, I'm on a phone call. Keys, and then they should be. Hold on.
All right, hold on. I'll pause the recording.
The thing about the kids, though, so like, and then on the flip side, though, because like there are little boys that get raped by teachers and shit like that. I think.
But then you have pieces of shit men on Twitter talking about, oh, where was that teacher when I was in middle school, like that type of shit.
No, it's basically, but what I'm saying for boys too, because if I'm talking about pregnancy, I'll include the boys into it too. If there is a boy that is, I mean, if it's a girl, if they're both kids, then immediately there should be an abortion. But I mean, like, if it's a boy that fathered a child through being assaulted, like if the boy was assaulted, make that piece of shit get an abortion. Don't get to bring a kid into this world because you felt like raping a kid. Fuck you.
I think here's the thing. The only reason that my thing is that I'm a little leery on the idea of the government forcing a woman to get an abortion. I've thought about this because there was a kid who was sexually assaulted by a teacher and he was coerced and stuff. And when he turned 18, that piece of shit teacher went after his ass for child support.
That's why you should why you don't get to bring a kid into
so what I was going to say is that in cases like that, I think the government should say, we're not going to force you to get an abortion, but this kid is not going to have any is going to be, will be the father legally, but he is not required under any circumstances to pay any type of child support. He is not required to by the law to be in against life at all.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair alternative.
Because it's very much juggling the government controlling what women can do with their bodies is kind of like regardless for me, even if the woman is the perpetrator. And this is, by the way, something that never fucking happens, but incels love to talk about this shit, so whatever. But definitely the victim should have zero legal responsibility to the kid whatsoever.
I think that actually is a fairer alternative because you are right, it does get, but and then the thing is and when I say I think kids should have abortions, I'm not saying that the government should implement that. I'm saying that should be the default. That should be the norm. It should be
our cultural default. Yeah, what we should as a culture.
I don't understand why when we find out that a girl is getting pregnant, the first thing we ask is who's the father. I when I was in high school, I was like, are you gonna keep it? Because that's.
Yeah, who gives a fuck who the daddy is? Are you keeping that shit?
And we had a Planned Parenthood up until Texas got shit. But
a single solitary Planned Parenthood. Goddamn.
We had one Planned Parenthood, but most girls had to go to New Mexico, and then the other thing too is because I knew. I knew a few girls who got pregnant in high school, and the thing is like I know girls who got pregnant in high school. They love their children and stuff like that. Would not want their kids to become teen parents. But
there was only one girl in my high school who while I was there who got pregnant.
Well, it was sad when I was in high school when girls got pregnant, because the thing is that the only thing that kept them from not having an abortion was not that they didn't say they loved the baby. They didn't say like they wanted to be a mom. They didn't say any of that. They didn't say like, oh, like I love the guy I'm with, blah 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 blah. It was none of that. It was that
my parents
can't abort the baby. My parents are making me, and I can't abort the baby because then I'm going to hell. I can't kill it. I can't kill the baby. It's like you're not, like, sure, you're killing it, but like also like who cares? It's
fine.
Sour Patch Kid.
Fine. Fine. Have me force feed you a fifth of liquor and push you down a flight of stairs. Then it's not your moral fault anymore.
And like it was just so like. And I knew girls that like tried to induce abortions with shit like that, and the thing is like it's like, or you could just go to a doctor. Like it's like kids are still gonna try to do like backyard fucking, for real. They're gonna try to do backyard fucking abortions like that, like back alley shit, because it's so stigmatized to just go to a doctor, which doesn't make sense to me. It's like
and the whole fucking point of this in the first place, the whole point of Roe originally was like one of the whole like the biggest things that came out of it was because of safe, legal, and necessary abortions. Guess what? Less women died by trying to get rid of their fucking kid. It stopped being a fucking whole it's just I don't want to get too deep into like shitting on Christianity or not even just Christianity, but just like the culture of like American evangelicalism, because I'll get mean and it'll turn into a rant. So I just wanted to pivot over to something a little lighter for the time being, because I'm sorry, like I just have so much fucking malice for American, like for Christian fascists, and that's what the majority of the evangelicals are in this country at this point, and it just drives me nuts.
Like I'm sorry, the majority of Christians are fucking fascists, and if they don't. Like, and the thing is like I used to be Christian,
and they wonder why there aren't more kids in the movement.
Well, and I was telling like my friends, I was like, dude, I'm losing my faith because I can't align myself with fascism. Like that's it's you want to say that you're the religion of like love and acceptance and Jesus and stuff like that, but these people think that Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Like they don't. Like I'm not having a conversation with them anymore, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't talk about it.
Because I can only be nice for so long before I just start getting mean.
Well, but the thing is like with religion, it's like that should be your cultural right, not your fucking like your. I don't know. Like it should like I view religion as very cultural in its healthiest senses, and when it gets to like this
institutional.
My worldview, like, institutional, but also this concept of like individualism. Like once you start getting too much individualism within a religion, you're losing the collective perspective and this like sense of community, and you're just like, and you become like these evangelical types that are like, my brand of Christianity is the right way, and if you're not my brand of Christian, you're not really a Christian to me. And like I have this very individualistic fascist mindset because I only want the people that I want in my in-group. I only want my brand of Christians, which is this white, thin,
like I want a white straight guy over the age of 40, and if you're not that, you should be. And if you're not that, and if you're either younger than 40 or you're a woman, you should be seen and not heard.
Yeah, well, and they don't want people of color to have narratives ever, like, and they don't want to hear a person of color's perspective, because I think a lot of things that, like, say for example, a lot of like critical race theory TikTok is what I call it, doesn't want to talk about is that like I remember Alex Bassa, he got like so much like shit for saying like the default state of whiteness is racist, and it's like that's not even a hot take. That's true. That's like I'm in academia, man. Like I'm an English lit major. Like we talk about this all the time. We're like, especially if you're born a straight white man, your default is going to be racist. And like a lot of people in these comments will be like, I'm white and I was never racist. I never grew up like with racism. My family wasn't racist, and it's like yes they were. Like if you grew up in an environment that upholds racism in any way, yeah, you grew up racist. Like, say for example,
yep,
in my family,
I'm only racist to three things, and that is the oppressive cultural nature of that Japan forces on its citizens, rich English people, and anybody from New Jersey.
Anybody from New Jersey? I got beef with like a lot of like I feel like maybe I could come off racist when I'm talking about a lot of like World War II topics, because like for example I think a lot of people like to talk about, and like a lot of people are talking about it now, especially so Oppenheimer, but they're talking about the bomb and stuff like that. And when people are like they didn't need to drop 2 bombs on Japan, and I'm like, Japan was like sardining motherfuckers and using them for like
rape of Nanking, comfort women, like, everything they did in Korea. Listen, Japan. Like the biggest.
Let me talk about it. I've talked about this. So Imperial Japan, and I obviously don't have beef with Japanese people, but the problem is that Japan has paid no fucking reparations for anything. Like they said they covered their bases with crimes against women and like war crimes or whatever during like the Nuremberg trials and stuff like that. They didn't. But the thing is that so Japan. There's a lot of things we could go into. I feel like a lot of people like to bring up Unit 731 a lot, and I understand that because it was so brutal. But the thing is, the rape of Nanking was the Imperial Japan coming into Korea and China and pillaging, raping, torturing Korean people and Chinese people, but specifically women and children. Like comfort women ranged from ages 8 to 21, and comfort women was this thing where Imperial Japan would sex traffic. They would tell these families, oh, your child is going to come work at a sewing factory or something for the Imperial Army, and the family would be like, okay, just please don't kill our child. And so they would let them go, and these kids would be sex trafficked. And then in Unit 731, all of their POWs that were Chinese people were dead. And so the thing is that when it came to Unit 731, they're doing these horrible fucking experiments. Like I remember when I was researching Unit 731, I was having nightmares, like body horror nightmares from the shit that I was reading.
Yeah.
And
we talked about Japanese atrocities during World War II in my world history class in high school. CP wasn't a part of the required learning. My teacher, Mr. McLean, was based, and he gives a printout anyways on it. I had not had good sleep that night. No siree.
Yeah, and the thing is my dad's a retired lieutenant colonel, and he was talking to some generals in the 80s. And my dad's this hippie type, he's if he didn't join the army, he would have been a flower child. He joined the army as an officer because it was he was already in college. That they paid for his master's and everything. He's a little history nerd, so he's talking to these World War II Korean generals, and he's so excited because this is for school, but it might have just been for work. But he's so excited because he's a little history nerd. He's preparing for this boss World War II exam that's never going to come, and he's talking to them, and he says, "Hey, do you think that we shouldn't have dropped the second bomb on Japan? And do you think that was too much?" And then these men say, "You should have dropped more bombs." Turn that place into a fucking parking lot.
Yeah, I don't really talk to my girlfriend is of the mindset we shouldn't have dropped the second bomb. It wasn't necessary, and then from a strategic point, dropping the bombs at all was kind of unnecessary. We were going to Japan was going to lose anyways. But to your point, Japan did some of the most heinous fucking shit. the fucking Holocaust was like clinical, you know, like it was like very much like robotic and factory like in its cruelty
Japan was
and
just like torturing people for fun. Like they didn't.
yeah, like
They took the whole. I mean, obviously the Nazis viewed anybody who wasn't part of their in group as subhuman, but like Imperial Japan viewed people that they saw as subhuman as like basically fuckable animals. Like they pillaged and they raped and they like tore people's bodies to shred and they exposed them to all these diseases and stuff like that. So that's why the U.S.
And I mean, if we look at Japanese culture today, like look at like a lot of like the H manga and like the type of things that Japanese like doujin writers will like crawl as like fetish content. Like it's all very like that mentality of like treating like of like other nationalities, especially women, as like objects.
Well, and
is
even the anime now is still racist. Like I would say most of the time when I see anime that animates black characters, it's extremely racist.
Like
and
I think the only the only three anime that ever did like that ever portrayed black people in a positive, non-awful manner are literally JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Naruto, and Bleach, and that's it.
Yeah, like even Death Note, like is like there's this like scene where there's TV playing in the background of Light's sister, and it has this racist portrayal of a black man, and it's just like whoa, okay, like shit. I didn't think I was gonna see like Jim Crow ass looking shit today, but whatever.
Well, you have to remember Japan is an ethno state.
But the thing is about Japan when it comes to like Unit 731 and stuff like that. So the U.S. wanted their information on like chemical warfare, on biological weapons. So that's why these Japanese scientists of Unit 731 got pardoned, because the U.S. was like, do you want to give us the information and go to our tribunal, or do you want to go to a Russian tribunal? And where American tribunals had sentences, Russian tribunals had firing squads. So Japan chose American route. But the thing is that so the U.S. didn't bomb Japan for any righteous reason at all. Like, so for people who are Asian, so like say for example, I by through right of my great grandfather on my mother's side and part Chinese. And I'm only speaking from being part Chinese. I can't speak for Koreans or any other people and like that was affected by Imperial Japan historically. But like for Asians, yeah, we see this like brutal history of like the rape of Nanking and all like the brutality of Unit 731. Like Chinese POWs, like it was like 100% dead. Like when you look at the statistics of like how they dealt with certain POWs. And because like the Japanese saw themselves as the superior Asians in Imperial Japan, and
it's also it's like
care about that. The U.S. didn't care about any of that. They didn't care about any of that that like political stuff going on. The U.S. was just pissed off because they got a little pow pow at Pearl Harbor, and so they decided to unleash the sun on Japan. And it's like okay, like that's a bit of an overreaction because it's not like they gave a shit about China.
Part of it.
In the islands, like.
Well, after all that was done and we got our like American POWs back, like there was actually like the thing is this. It's like in the aftermath of World War II, when the Soviets became the new big bad that we directed our war economy towards, like our former enemies of Germany and Japan and Italy, like we basically like we did shock doctrine, right? And so like what ended up happening is that like as far as like Japan's concerned, like I don't know if you know this, but there was very much a PR campaign on the side of the U.S. government to sort of rehabilitate Germany and Japan, especially Germany, but also Japan. And one of the ways that they were kind of doing that was like they didn't the American people wanted the head of the Japanese emperor, but they didn't do it simply because like they wanted to convert Japan into an ally. And one of the horrific things about like the POW camps in Japan that a lot of people like that it's not very well known about was it took 3 weeks for them to return the POWs from Japan to the American shores. Does it take 3 weeks to sail across the ocean in like those liners of that time? Absolutely not. The reason why they were doing that was because if cameras got on those American POWs and saw how like emaciated and like hurt they were, there would have been another fucking war. Like they spent those 2.5 weeks letting these people heal and feeding them and shit. So when they looked like didn't look like they were fucking half dead when they got in front of the cameras and shit.
Yeah, and like they
didn't want to start another war, and 2, propaganda.
I will say though, like the U.S. went way too far when it came to like the concentration camps, like the internment camps, concentration camps here in the States.
Call them into their concentration camps. Yeah,
there are concentration camps. And but it's like historically people are like they're internment camps. I'm like, it's the same shit. Fuck you. And also like, but the thing is like these people had nothing to do with like like, you know, Japanese Americans.
They were Americans. Like, they were Americans. They left their country to be here. As far as I'm fucking concerned,
can you imagine
part of the ship, part of the crew.
Can you imagine, like, we're going to go to America, we're going to go to the land of the free, we're going to get away from Imperial Japan and their fucking crazy racism and, sexism.
You just fucking know that if the Republicans actually go to war with Mexico, they're going to lock up every brown person that looks vaguely Latino in the country. If they're able to get...
Well, that's like it. Like, but Mexico wouldn't go to war with the U.S. because, like,
no, fascist-ass Republicans would invade under the guise of stopping the drug cartels.
I'd like to see them fucking try, because the cartels, like, the Mexicans have a sense of camaraderie. Like the cartels will help out the because the thing is, what they don't understand is that during World War II, well, you know, they needed help. At the ports, like securing like the harbors and stuff like that. And guess who helped the U.S.?
Italian mafia.
Yeah, the Italian mafia. You think that the cartel is not going to do the same thing?
You think no? Worse than that, the cartel's going to is going to do guerrilla tactics.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. Like if Republicans really want to go to war with Mexico, who has way more resources, like let's go.
Listen, cartels absolutely do heinous shit to people to Mexican people 100%. Like nobody's denying that. But
what's interesting is the cartel. There was this news. So the cartel. Growing up as a kid, we never saw the cartel apologize for shit. The cartel was like a big bad here, because. But the thing is that it wasn't so whenever it came to people talking about oh, let's go to Mexico, well, what if we get decapitated? And they're and we would just be they only do that shit to tourists. They're not gonna do that shit to but the thing is, yeah, there are a lot of missing and murdered indigenous women and Mexican women because of the cartel. But the thing is, we've never seen the cartel apologize for jack shit. But there was an incident where unfortunately
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
But these people got racially profiled because the cartel thought they were Haitian, and then the cartel, once it hit the news, I guess they were we're not going to look like the cops today, so they turned in the men directly. They claimed to be directly responsible and said oh, this was a lack of discipline, and they just turned them over to the police face down, beat the shit out of them. Because they were just no racial profiling in our gang, that's lame. And it was just fucking weird. But, yeah, no, the cartel...
Well, no, because here's the thing.
Cartels and gangs do a lot of terrible shit, but, the thing is cartels and gangs have a sense of camaraderie very similar to the army. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
They get...
Yeah, if I go on a trip through Mexico and I get stopped by a cartel checkpoint or whatever, what's not going to happen is me getting, I'm not the days of the cartel holding people for ransom and doing that type of shit has kind of passed, because it's causing international incidents is not a good thing. One of the things I'm aware of, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the cartel generally leaves a lot of tourists at this point alone, especially if the tourists are staying in the touristy areas and aren't in places where they know they should.
It's not worth the fucking headache.
It's not worth the headache. It's bad for business, and it's not worth the headache.
And also, it's kind of just a thing of movies, where ransom situation's a thing, yeah. But do you realize how hard it is to take a person ransom, and then you have to take care of them,
and then get it.
And then
It's like,
get the ransom and then apparently give them back. But the thing is like, also, it's like, they make enough money from drugs alone. They make enough money selling drugs to tourists. They don't need to
yeah,
kidnap them. They just need to pick up customers.
they don't.
Like,
And in fact, like if tourists are afraid of you, like should view the cartels like, oh, I can go to this person and get a good time. The worst thing that would happen to me if I was in like even in a place I shouldn't have fucking been is they'll just take any fucking like money I have and then like send me on my merry way. Like and that's the worst that'll happen to me. As long as I'm not like a mouthy asshole.
The thing is, I feel like people see the cartel as like a lot of like broke, poor Mexicans when like really it's an institutional thing.
The cartel is something like what 87% like accounts for 87% of Mexico's GDP or something like that.
Yeah, well, like the cartel's got a lot of fucking money running through it. The other appeal of the cartel is like a lot of, I know there's like plenty of stories where men join, the cartel or they join a gang because they want to secure a home for their mom. Like you get camaraderie, you get safety, you get an income, you get a gun.
I have a friend of mine whose dad was a cartel member. Like I dead ass. Like he told like his dad was a cartel member. His dad was like didn't think he was gonna live to be an adult. He hit 19 years old. He's like, I want to do something different. He trained a successor to replace his spot in the organization without any hullabaloo, and then he immigrated to America into the Northeast, and he's just been chilling. He went to California first, started a bit of a family there, moved to after that didn't work out, he moved out to the East. My buddy followed him out there, and it's the whole thing. Dude's traumatized to shit, but like,
yeah, I mean, he basically it's the equivalent of like serving time or being in the army. Like it's fucking violent, and it's and I think like that's another thing too is like now that I'm thinking about it, like prison industrial complex. I knew a guy. He's in a gang, and he is so. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna give too many hints about him. But
I've been very very careful not to name names and shit here.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I'm just trying to not give too many descriptors about him, but like he, friend of mine, like, doesn't live here. I'm trying to like zip. Okay, the point is, he got a trumped up charge when he was a teenager, and he's black, and the thing is, like, when he got out, it's like, okay, what else is he gonna do besides sell drugs? Gave him a fucking felony as a kid, like, and also, like, the thing is,
you're like in like a like not even not in Texas, but like you're in like a red. Presumably, he's in a red state. No fucking good old boy judge is going to expunge that.
Yeah, and also the other thing too is he's I think what's funny though is because he sells drugs. I've seen him getting busted a few times, but his gang gives him really good lawyers. Like it's awesome. Like because that's what I live for. Like every time he got busted, I would be like, oh no, like my homie's going away, and then he would be back the next day on bail, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, I got court like in like a month, and then he was just like, I'll be fine. And and it's the thing is that they always fucked up on like Miranda. I'm like, are you fucking serious? How are you like?
You should don't finish that question. You know cops are incompetent. You know cops are fucking incompetent.
Yeah, well, and it's just like, and like, because I remember one of the things we laughed about was I was telling you, I was like, yeah, when I was growing up, my dad was like, if you ever get like stopped by a cop, just like the only word you know is lawyer, and then my buddy, he was like, don't even say that.
Then they get mad and fuck up. Then they get mad and fuck up.
And then he's like, don't even say lawyer. Don't even invoke your right. Just stay silent and count on them to not like do Miranda. Just count on them to not do what they're supposed to do. Just stay silent. Don't say jack shit.
Being fucking meatheads and shit.
Yeah, and then he was like, and then he's like, don't answer questions. He's like, do like ask for your lawyer or ask for your phone call. And then he's like, but when they try to like intimidate you, he's like, just let them get mad. He's like, don't give them a reaction. Like, and then he's like, and then if they put their hands on you, they fucked up.
You win. Especially if you're in an interrogation room.
Yeah, and the thing is, he would just count on the cops to be idiots, and he would count on them to like not think that he's smart. Like, he's done this rodeo before. Like, he went to prison, and it's not that he's not scared to go back, but also he was very much like, it's so weird how like a lot of like people who are like drug dealers and stuff like that, they're just regular schmegular people. Like, even do their taxes. Like, he's a good
I know a few. I know a few. I know a few people who sell shit. Like, they're not bad people. They're chill.
They're just trying to pay rent, man. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah, no.
And like, the thing is, but he like, it wasn't funny, haha, but it was funny, like, damn, like, okay.
Ironic. Yeah.
But he actually hates guns, but not because he doesn't want a gun, but because if he has a gun, like, he's not supposed to have a gun because he's a felon. And if there's like an unregistered weapon in his house, he's going straight back to prison. And I remember one time there was this guy who had a gun, and then he was like, "Get that shit out of my house! Get that shit out of my house right now!" Like, and then he was like, "Get out, get out!" Like, and then he didn't talk to that dude for like a month. Like he was like, "You're out of your fucking mind!" Like he just like doesn't fuck around with guns. He was like, "Get that shit out of my face! Get it out of like my."
He should put a sign up on his door saying, "Leave your firearm. Don't bring firearms in here."
Don't bring your firearm. Well, and because he just assumes that most people don't register their weapons.
I mean, it's Texas. They don't give a fuck.
Well, it's not Texas over there, but like a lot of people, the place where he's from, like, don't register their weapons, or the people don't do the paperwork properly, and like
my mental health is too fucked for me to own a firearm.
Like, you can get in a lot of trouble over there. Like, the specific state I'm thinking about, if you have like an unregistered weapon, or like, but the thing is like that Trump always gets charged up if you're a person of color.
Yeah, well, that's just racism.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to think of the. Yeah, I remember. Like, guns were so weird over there because this was like a pretty white town. Like,
yeah.
And I realized that like some people see guns as like. I knew this guy. He had a gun that was like from the fucking 1800s or something like that. It was an heirloom from his family, like passed down. Like, museums were asking.
What was it, like a Winchester or something? Like an old Winchester?
Yeah, it was like a rifle. It was fucking beautiful.
Nice.
And like it still worked. And it was, and he was like showing it off to me and whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, I can understand gun, like, and then I realized, like, okay, guns for some people, especially for old, like, white people that, like, you know, have an established sense of like family and inheritance, guns are part of inheritance. Guns are part of the culture. That's why there's a huge gun culture in America, because y'all don't have culture unless it's guns for some reason. Because, like, I could tell how much he loved this gun. I could tell how important it was to him because, you know, it was inherited by his pappy and all the motherfuckers. And, like, with Mexicans, we just have food. Recipes we hand over, and y'all have fucking meatloaf with guns. Like,
well, here's the thing, and this is kind of like what I talk about, because like when I talk about advocacy, like my goal is like, I don't need to like talk about things like I don't need to talk about being anti-racist, anti-sexist, homophobic and shit like that. I don't need to talk about this shit with like other gay people, other black people, other brown people, other women. I can just talk. I need to talk to this shit about this shit with people that look like me and are like me. Like,
that's a good way to look at it.
And so I can't really talk about this with too many people because they get mad about how I do it. So like one of the ways I talk about like why white supremacy is bad is like, you know, Americans are selfish by our very nature. We're very selfish in a lot of ways. And if it doesn't really
individualist culture.
It's a very individualist culture. So I make the anti-racist, anti-sexist thing into an individualist argument. So here's how white supremacy affects you as a white guy. When your grandparents, who you like, whether you're Italian, Irish, Polish, whatever, like when they came over, like on an immigrant or whatever, they were treated like shit. But you are 6 generations removed from that, and you don't have any of you might have like a recipe or two, maybe like your mom, your great grandmother taught your mother before she died how to make a flower crown or something in a traditional way, like little bitty shit, but like there's really not much. And you know how like you crip You know, a lot of Black culture, you know, a lot of like whenever you go to like a foreign land or whatever, you like kind of embrace like the cultures while you're there. Most people of other cultures don't do that. The reason why we do that is because the white supremacist nature of America forces you, if you have white skin, to adhere to the Americana ideal. And anything that doesn't fit into that is alien to that, is shamed and broken. And there is safety in that assimilation. There's safety in doing that. And so generation after generation cuts off more and more of those cultural signifiers and more of that thing until you are eating meatloaf and green bean casseroles and you're living in the suburbs. But you have this, but you feel like you're missing something a little bit on some level. And so that's how you get like talking to white dudes talking with a black accent. God, before I recognized it, God knows I did that for years. And it's very much like I frame it as white supremacy also hurts white people because whiteness and white people aren't a cultural group. It is a artificial amalgamation of lots of different things that have had the things that make those cultures and like that thing that is very human stripped away.
Yeah, well, and it's easy to get white people I'm talking like white people in the sense of you have white skin, like to assimilate very easily. Where like if you're going to contrast that with other people of cultures, the other people of color, they can't do that. Like there is no amount of assimilating I can do to be considered part of the white group, and it doesn't work the other way around.
Absolutely,
and so that's why there becomes this like us versus them attitude, because it's like you're not able to assimilate the way we want you to, because I was never going to be able to in the first place, because I'm not close enough to a default state of whiteness to fit. And then it's much more if you're black. And then or much less if you're black. And then but the thing is with whiteness is that that's why say for example when it comes to the Irish population down here, like, don't get me wrong, there's still like plenty of like Irish Americans that are like racist as shit.
So real quick, Jules, before I want you to remember the framing I put at the beginning of this. I know all of this, but you got to get them to embrace this shit before you can get them into that shit.
But what I'm saying is that like with Irish Americans down here, like they so Irish Americans affected to the Mexican side of the Mexican-American War. Because essentially, there's a book about it called The Ballad of Love and Glory. But essentially, a bunch of Irish white boys fell in love with Mexican girls and were like, "I'll prove how much I love her by joining the Mexican army. Like, let's go!" Like, and then literally just like horny Irish boys being like, "I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Now let me betray my country." And so that's why the book is called Ballad of Love and Glory.
Hey, I ain't mad at it. I get it.
Yeah, well, like it's so cute. Like, and that's why like there are some people who are very culturally, historically, like if you're very historically in touch down here, and like say for example, if you told my dad like, "Hey, I'm dating a white man," he would be like, "Is he Irish?" Like he's like, "It's fine if he's Irish," like not anything else. And like but the thing is that we probably would have lost more of Mexico had it not been for the St. Patrick's Battalion. These men went so hard. These little redheaded hillbillies went so hard that the U.S. had to commission cannons from Boston.
Well,
it's the most high-tech shit at that time. Can you imagine? Can you imagine little hillbillies going so hard that you're like, we need to go get before we had real, like we need to get a cannon. We're gonna.
I mean, they had to fly in fighter planes for the Battle of Red Mountain.
Yeah, well, but the thing is that the thing is that where the U.S. was like flabbergasted by that was this concept of so a lot of Irish also did it because they didn't feel comfortable killing other Catholics, and the thing is that they also identified with Mexicans when it came to the persecution of your people because you're not part of the in-group, because Irish were not considered part of the in-group. And after the Irish joined the Mexican-American War, there was this huge call to make Irish people feel like white people, and because the thing is the Irish came down from all the way from San Diego and to like the Alamo and stuff like that, and they saw signs like, oh, no Irish or Mexicans allowed, no Irish, Mexicans, or dogs allowed. And so I think it's not a coincidence that right after the U.S. won, suddenly Irish are allowed. Now we need to make these Irish people feel like they're part of our in-group before they get too cozy with the Mexicans. And it's that. It's like...
Yeah. That it's that it is...
There's an inherent threat when ethnic white people are engaged with their ethnicity because it doesn't align with imperialistic views of whitehood.
And that's like, and that's the reason. And I don't know if you, and I said it earlier, but like a lot of white people have there's like this hole in our chest. It feels like culturally like we're missing something, and it used to be there. It's just, white supremacy took that from us because, my grandparents and grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents, for their own safety, needed to assimilate. And now we live in a time period where, like, that kind of cultural, importance.
Well, and for white people, the assimilating was so important because it's like if you don't assimilate, then you're gonna face some kind of prejudice. But you're gonna
have barriers to power taken away. You're going to and yeah, it's like
and you watch other people of color who can't assimilate get killed. So it's like
right.
It's like sink or swim at that point. Like there's like how you're saying, like you get access to more things the more you assimilate and the more you renounce like the as like even within like the structures of whiteness, like that's why there's this thing as like white in a sense of English, like Anglo-Saxon would be like the kind of white that we think of, or Germanic, and then there's like
so actually quick to debunk a myth real quick. When people say Anglo-Saxons, I get so fucking mad at that because that subgroup of white people in England hasn't existed for fucking 700 years. They existed for like a 400-year period, like in the fucking thousands, and then the Nords came over and like then that happened, and that subgroup doesn't exist anymore. It's like
okay,
a fucking,
so like
it's like the idea of like Anglo-Saxon like is like whenever I hear like people say like, oh, Anglo-Saxon roots of the country, white, immediately I know they're a white supremacist. Immediately I know, because like what
Hitler would consider like the Aryan race, like the Aryan stock, as like these people that like adhere to certain phenotypes.
And he was the ugliest motherfucker in the entire German army.
Wasn't he short?
Yes, he was a short, ugly incel. And he took out his inability to have women like him out on the rest of the world.
I don't even think he was an incel. I think what it was is that he was impotent. Like, I don't think he could get it up. There's a lot of like, because there's a lot of documentaries that I've watched where it's like the secret sex of Hitler, and it's like, and it turns out there wasn't much sex going on, and he was just into like degradation shit because he couldn't get it up.
Yeah, that tracks with right wingers.
Like, I think what's weird about like when you get into like critical race theory is like I think the kind of people that annoy me the most in circles of critical race theory, when it comes to people that are not well informed, I feel like the people that come off the most pretentious, the most pompous, or the most I explain this. Ill-informed. It's a lot of white women. Like I feel like a lot of white women think that just because they're women, that means that they're that they can align with everybody in the oppressive group. But like, no, white women are the only group that can benefit from their own oppression, and that can, and that can wield
it's like that fucking Bill Burr bit. It's like that fucking Bill Burr bit where he's like castigating white women for talking about. For like making every fucking social movement about themselves. He's like, no, take your ass right next to me and sit next to me and take your talking to from all these people.
Yeah, well, it's because like I think what frustrates me about because like say for example, I love Liz, I love Red, I love Tiara's Native American, but whatever. But the point is that like yeah, so I mean I know Tiara considers herself white, but I wouldn't. She's Native American.
Is it
The
is
thing
it
is
weird?
that
Is it weird that I think it's completely like I'm okay with like ethno nationalism exclusively when it's coming out the mouth of Native Americans. Like I know it's like morally ethno nationalism in any regard is wrong, but they were done so fucking dirty
I think
that
they're allowed to be like get off our fucking property.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like and so the thing is that but yeah, like when it comes to like white women, I like women that uplift other voices because I remember Liz
Mm-hmm.
there was this guy that was like trying to give her shit where she was like yeah, like if I'm talking and we're talking about racism, I'm going to default to a black person because like that's not my experience and like you know I'm going to listen to them. And they were like, oh, so you're just not going to have an opinion if a black person's in the room? It's like that's not what she said. She said that she's going to platform the voice that matters in this conversation. And that's the thing that like frustrates me about a lot of white women is that say for example, here's a better way to contextualize it. So
Mm-hmm.
I I tell a lot of people, and it's a constant joke that I have, or because I do date white men, but a lot of like people are like, why haven't I seen you date a white woman? And I was just like, I don't date white women out of principle. And like the thing is that I find that a lot of
Why do you think you could train a white boy to say what you need him to say?
leave me alone. Leave me alone. Like I like straight away one. I don't know why. I think it's gonna work. Leave me alone. Like I like what I like. Like you know, like I'm working on it. Like and then, but the other thing too is like I feel like there's a real like when it comes to like the men that I date. It's not because I've dated Mexican men. I've dated white men, and like the black men that I've been into, there's always been that conversation of, is your mother going to be upset about you dating a light skinned girl? And
Colorism.
I can't. Yeah. Well, no, but I'm not going to blame a black mother for not wanting. You know, I'm not white, but I know that to people of color, I'm white. I'm not going to blame a black mother for being fearful of the white devil. Like I'm not like there's historical context for that. Like, have you ever read To Kill a Mockingbird? Like or heard about?
Yeah. Like don't get me wrong. Like I guess you can like there can be fear about it, but but you're like also you're obviously not a white woman either. Like it's
but the thing is like I don't want to like. It's like I don't want to cause like because the thing is like I've never been in love. The relationship has never gone that far. But the thing is that's always been brought up where I'm like, hey, is your mom gonna have a problem with you dating a white girl? And like it's kind of just like, well, like yeah, but like yeah, let's just like worry about that later. And it's like no, like this should be a conversation we have now because like I don't want to come into like your mother's space and have to be like I'm not like the rest. Like like if that's something that you feel like is going to be an awkward conversation, then like maybe um
maybe it's because I'm white and I feel some level of comfort to tell my mother to shut the fuck up about my life. I don't know.
I feel like I default to a black mother's fear about her son dating a light skinned girl or like a very light skinned girl or a white woman. I default to understanding that fear. And I don't want to tell a woman that she's wrong for feeling that when there's historical reasons for that. But the thing is that
I get where you're coming from on that.
The relationship has never gotten serious enough to where I've been like,
it's like yeah.
Like the relationship's never gotten serious enough to where I'm gonna be like, there was never a point where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go meet your mom now. Like it never got that serious. It was like that kind of thing of like where I'm like I'm not gonna try to I'm not gonna put together a PowerPoint of how I'm not racist for your mom. Like if she has certain feelings about that, then like I'm gonna respect that, and like if we work out, then like hopefully me and her can develop a relationship as human beings, and and I can just be myself. But like the thing is that like the thing is like I kind of also don't want to deal with that. It's like if you're telling me your mother would be happier if you were dating a black woman, then I don't there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not gonna try to compete with black women in that respect. Like I'm not doing that. That just feels
So I get where you're coming from with that, but like, see, I'm a little squirrely on this because I very much am not a fan of prior generations controlling like there's a very I think there's a very like I think there's a very
It's kind of like, you got to think about it this way. It's the same reason that I don't date closeted women. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with your family.
So that's
I'm not
one
dealing with.
that's a little different. I at least outside looking in.
I would listen to the gay and person of color. I would say it's very comparable. So the thing is that with whenever I've been into a man who's been black, and we've had that conversation, it's like, if you've never had this conversation with your mom about interracial relationships, or if you think your mom would be happier with you with a black girl, then this is not when we should start dating. You should have this shit figured out before we start dating. This is
okay. So that's a different context. Okay, I understand now.
This is situational with your family, and it's not my job to come in and be that,
the solution to the problem that's already here. Yeah,
I'm not going to be the character girl. That's something you got to work on your own. It's the same thing with queer women who are closeted.
So my bad. I had a different I looked at it a little. I was looking at it a little. I thought the framing was a little different. Like, I understand that. Like, deal with your own shit before you.
Well, and the thing is, like, I'm not going to deal with women that are closeted, because it's like, if you can't live in your own truth, if you can't, because I get it, it's hard, and a lot of people don't want to cut off their family and stuff like that.
If you don't feel safe to live your truth, how is it safe for me to be there with you?
Exactly. It's like, I'm not gonna deal with your, dad showing up with a shotgun, and his fucking Bible. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, nobody's pussy to me is worth death. Like, sorry, I know that I'm supposed to be like a super romantic queer and stuff like that, but I'm not
well, there's a difference. There's a difference between
growing up in church, and I didn't care about my life, but no, now as an adult, I got shit to do. If you are not out to your family, if you're not out to yourself, if you're if you're just my family wouldn't understand, and I'm not gonna pretend to be your friend. Are you out of your mind? Grow the fuck up. Sorry, at some point you gotta grow up, and you gotta live in your truth, and you gotta accept the fact that you're not going to be loved by everybody, and you're not going to be loved by the people that you love.
Can I tell you a story?
What?
Related to this. All right, so I'm gonna drop names just because I don't give a fuck, and and honestly, I want this woman to. I want this poor woman. I hate this bitch, but I also given her situation, I want her out of it and feeling and living her truth and shit. So my problematic ass older sister, love her to death, Mariah. No, I know we're not related by blood. We met in college. I love her to death. She's fed me when I was starving, and vice versa. What I met her when she was 26, and she was dating, and she came out to me like when we first met. This woman went on her menace lesbian phase because she is like, you look at her and you're like, stud immediately. And it's like you think that you look like a little boy. I shit you not.
Like a little boy.
I'm only saying that because you said it in DMs first, but I love this woman to death, but she was doing bitches dirty during her lesbian hoe phase. It was bad.
She was closeted.
No, she was.
Or she's just being a hoe.
She's just being a hoe. She was just she was like, I've seen fuckboys treat some women better. So
if you're gonna be a hoe, then at least top all the time. That's what I did in my hoe phase.
She that's all she fucking does. But point is that there was this person she was with, and it was her name. This chick's name was Veronica, right? Veronica's mom, it's like a toxic ass Dominican household.
Yeah.
Toxic ass Dominican household, and I think Veronica kind of saw Mariah as her way out from under her mother's thumb, right? Mm. And because her mom was there was this whole plan that since she was born, she was gonna, when she grew up, she was gonna marry this dude who was a family friend and get him into the country. Mm. And that's exactly what happened. And she was, and again, Veronica has her own fucking set of issues. I was begging Mariah to leave this crazy ass woman, and because she was genuinely toxic. It was bad, and I was worried for my friend's safety. And she did. Things move on. Fast forward to like a week and a half ago. I'm catching up with Mariah because she's like gotten 3 promotions at her job. She's been working her ass off. She's doing great. But her birthday comes around, and Veronica starts DMing her on her birthday. This is, mind you, 4 years after they've been broken up. Mariah's been with this new woman who's basically they're going to get married for 3. She's in her DMs and shit, right? And apparently, like, it's gotten so much worse for Veronica since then. She's been forced to marry the dude, forced to have a kid, and now the grandma and her mom are like fighting over who gets to have control of like the kid's life and what they do and shit. And she's just like desperately trying to like find someone to get her out of this situation. And it's like I was unironically asking Mariah, please tell me if you can get me the name of her husband's last name. I will do a fucking ICE report, get his ass gone. Because it's like this poor girl is in such a fucking terrible situation, you know, of just like control. And I don't give a shit. All of the people here are all of the people, except for the exception of Mariah, who doesn't give a fuck. Everybody in this situation are pieces of shit. And the only reason I'm talking about it is just because A, I don't care, and B, I kind of feel bad that she's in this situation where she's gay and she's trapped in a marriage and shit that she was forced to do. And it's like, I don't know. I forgot. I remember there was a reason I brought this up. It does feel like a tangent. I'm sorry.
Well, we were talking about women in the closet and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
but there's a difference.
No, she was in the closet. She was in the closet. Her mom found out she was gay and then immediately sped up the timeline on homeboy coming to marry her and shit.
That's the thing. Some families are crazy like that, and like, you know, because like I had a friend who she was forced to go on dates with boys when she came out as gay, and that's extremely traumatic. And I can't imagine having to marry somebody.
Because teenage boys are very tactful and good listeners.
Well, and it's like, imagine you're being told like, I'm gay, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna send you on a bunch of dates with horny boys, and literally the mom, her strategy was like, well, if she just gets fucked by a boy, then she'll realize she's not gay, and it's like, you literally set her up for sexual assault. Like, you'd rather her be assaulted than be gay. What is wrong with you? And that's how some of these people are. They'd rather pimp out their daughters, and they'd rather assault them through other men than just get a grip.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. I just don't understand, like. Do you want to switch? I'm not sure what to do. How to move on to the next topic? You want to pick something, or sure? I actually had something. Are you on Twitter?
I'm just.
You're vibing.
Am I on Twitter? No, I am not on Twitter.
Good. It's good for your health. If I get a new Blue Sky invite code, it's got your name on it.
I keep like debating whether or not obviously I'm keeping TikTok because I got my TikToks and stuff like that. But like, I need to take a break from TikTok every now and then because I feel like it rots your fucking brain. Like, I know that's like. Okay, so the thing is, I was talking about this. I try to
like enough cute animal videos to keep my algorithm not brain dead political.
Well, like, the thing is, we were talking about this in literature where it's like there is like this like dumbass argument where it's like, okay, so when written language started becoming a thing, like there was like records of like old motherfuckers who were just like, what, you have to go you have to write it down, like, why don't you just commit this shit to memory, you stupid idiot. Like the concept of like not just committing stuff to memory, like the concept of like oral tradition was really strong. So the concept of like written language, and writing things down for for business and stuff like that, it was like when it was coming out, there was literally this like the technology is ruining the kids, like the technology is ruining everything because like people aren't just going to commit.
It's been that forever. It's always been that shit.
So like whenever people are just like, it's like, oh, like laptops were coming out, it's like, oh, so we're not going to write anything physically down anymore. Like people are like, penmanship is going to die, like, which it kind of has. But
first of all, like, cursive needed to die. Fuck cursive.
I think, okay, my thing, I don't think penmanship is that bad. Most people, I can read their handwriting. But the thing is like, I think that when it comes to technology and stuff like that, like, I'm not really scared of technology. I think that age old thing of like the youths are being destroyed by new technology. It's been around since like written language was around. People being like, oh, we're gonna have books now instead of just committing stuff to memory. Like that's been around like forever. But what I find be like, what is important is I think that like the media that you constantly consume is like the important part, because I think that it's very easy to get radicalized on the internet to like whatever.
100%.
Because like,
have you ever done the YouTube right wing pipeline challenge? Where you just open up like.
I'm not doing that.
So,
but the thing is like,
no.
Like,
do you know what I'm talking about though? Do you know what I'm talking about though?
No.
Literally, you open up a new Google account and you just click on a random video and you just see how many like random like how many like refreshes of the recommended page it takes before you get like a right wing like anything. Minus Fox News, because that's whatever.
I don't want to, like, I'll kill myself. But like, no, like when it's also easy. It's easy to get radicalized on the internet, but it's also easy to get like red baited. So like when it comes to like communists, so there's a specific TikToker that I used to admire. I don't really anymore. Like I'm not gonna say exactly who he is or talk too much shit about him, but like he is very much like just a feminist creator to get laid and to get views, and he's also claims to be a classical Marxist. However,
if I hear the word classical in your political ideology, I get scared.
Yeah, well, and the thing is like me and him had some beef because I was like, you cannot be supporting pornography and say that you're a communist. That is so interlocked with capitalism. That is so like literally in the Communist Manifesto, it says we have openly commodified women, and
Yep.
he even compares marriage as the first form of sexual slavery. And Karl Marx calls for the abolishment of prostitution. Not like making it illegal in the sense of like you can't be a sexual person. It's
but
just
the
that like
removal of its need.
That job should not exist because women are not capital, because we're human beings. I should not have to like. And the thing is, there's a lot of intersectional stuff like when it comes to like, oh, but like pornography can be empowering. Blah, blah, blah. I haven't really seen it be that empowering. I'll be honest. Like I understand people who are. My issue is not with sex workers. Like I think we have villainized sex workers too much for an industry that's not their fault. Like it's like why are we villainizing sex workers when it's literally like this market would not exist without capitalism, without patriarchy. Like in ancient Rome, like sex workers had to wear a specific toga to demonstrate themselves as that class of people, as prostitutes. So it's inherently classist too, because sex work is an inherent class of people. And the thing is that my issue with like pornography is it works under a lot of Pavlovian conditioning, and it benefits really well when it dehumanizes and brutalizes women and children. So it's like you can't be a communist. You can't say that you're even a classical Marxist because Karl Marx doesn't support sex work as an industry that shouldn't even exist. So it's like you can't be a communist and say that you support porn, especially violent fetish content, because it's like if you're a feminist, why do you need to watch women being brutalized? And the thing is that he's just so red baited. He thinks that like just because he's calling for revolution and talking about mode or like the means of production, or he can talk about the base or like the superstructure. Like he thinks that just because he can have these generalized conversations about what communism is, that makes him a classical Marxist. But it's like, no, you just really want like the state to be abolished. You want the concept of like not having to work to live, but you don't actually want to think about what that means in practice, which means not supporting industries that brutalize women and children, like pornography. That also means, say for example, my biggest problem as a communist is I still, smoke cigarettes, and you shouldn't be into big tobacco if you claim to be an egalitarian, because it still operates under a lot of, systematic slavery. And the other thing too is that, and also the tobacco industry in and of itself has inherent, like most like big crops have like an inherent tie to slavery. But The other thing too is
so I do want to say, because like you said a lot, and I do want to do a quick rebuttal, not because I don't necessarily disagree, but I do want to say there is no we both know there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. There are ways to be more ethical in your consumption, but like just like the pornography.
But there are ways to be completely unethical. I think that if you're a consumer of porn and you claim to be a feminist, it's inherently unethical and it's inherently contradictory, because like 1.8 million children have been found by the American Bar Association to be found into pornography and or prostitution.
Yeah.
And
here's my thing. I'm not like, is pornography inherently unethical in terms of like the commodification of. Also, I want to also like, does the but like the other thing I would probably like say, and I just because I'm curious, is what about gay porn or trans porn or things of that nature? Like does that make
inherently come on? You don't think that doesn't inherently modify the human body? You think that doesn't inherently?
It absolutely does. I just wanted to say that in there. I wanted to. I wanted to say that because like because it very much was sounding like that it came across like pornography is harmful because it commodifies women, not the human body, which is kind of like the more macro.
But it does commodify the human body. But when it comes to like,
I'm not saying it doesn't. Yeah, sorry.
And it's not that I don't want to bring up gay porn or stuff like that, but like even like trans porn and stuff like that, it's very
it's fetishized.
It's fetishized and it's violent and it's very like, there's always an element of like like porn. But the thing is like when we're talking about like trans, like people who are trans in the pornography industry are fucking abused. But like the other thing too is like the biggest gay porn though is lesbian porn.
Yeah.
Even if we're talking about gay porn, it's like, what's the most marketable one? It's lesbian porn, and it's not real lesbian sex. It's very fetishized towards the male gaze. Yep. And on top of that, there's plenty of porn stars who have talked about how they have been pressured to do scenes, and they've been pressured to do things they didn't want to do. And also, they've gotten STDs and stuff like that. They're like, they don't have good healthcare systems within these agencies. And also, there's a lot of abuse that goes on. And it's like, you just see what's edited for the camera. Like, the only thing you see on the camera is what is profitable. You don't see, like this person off camera after a brutal sex scene shaking and crying and throwing up because or you don't see this person off camera after because I think a lot of people, when they think of like porn stars, is like, oh yeah, we're just actors. They think they're going in and they're having a good time, and then they just have sex, and then they're just like, okay, we're good now.
I'd like to postulate something here. So obviously, the pornography industry, like Pornhub and like most, like it's all under. I think 90% of the pornography industry is controlled by one company. And it's absolutely rough. So what I think is probably for the best is like, I think with the growth of OnlyFans and Fansly and things of that nature,
the problem with OnlyFans is that it's been used by the likes of Andrew Tate now for sex trafficking.
True. I think hold on, let me pause this. You're good. You're good. So one of the things I wanted to say was, like, I don't disagree with any of the points you made here, but we also live in the system we live in. So I'm looking at this as less of like, ideally we would live in a system where the human body is not commodified in any way, and that is not an issue.
I don't have a problem with sex workers. I support sex workers.
I just want to finish here. So my point is that the reason I brought up OnlyFans and Fansly and things like that is because that like what fundamentally what we need at the end of the day is legalization of sex work and things of that nature. And because regardless of like how the fundamental like Marxist thing of it, we live in the system we live in, and we need to focus harm reduction first. So until we can be in a different system and also like have a different culture that makes it so the industry doesn't exist in the first place. and I actually, my girlfriend believes almost exactly the same thing that you do, and I've had this conversation with her, but I feel like I can have this with you because I won't be in the doghouse. I genuinely feel like, while yes, everything you're saying is right, we're not going to be able to, do that and make pornography or the needs or desires for pornography to go away until sex work is legalized, destigmatized, and harm reduction is gone, and we have safeguards in place. B, we have we gain a cultural respect for the human body and the decommodification of that, and become a more feminist society. And C, we just people broadly are able to engage and communicate in ways that they are not able to now, because I would argue that a large reason why pornography is, I think, a crutch for people, men and women, who just don't have the social skills and abilities to make the types of connections needed to have that level of intimacy with another human being. I've met there's, so I think just legal, cultural, and societal change, which is going to take, it's probably a couple centuries of work on our parts, and that's after we fucking we get rid of all the fascists and shit, and they're never going to completely go away, but it's just
the thing is what I feel like you're missing is I don't have a problem with sex workers. I support sex workers and all the plight they go through and all they have to do under capital. Because we do live under capital, and sex work is always going to be there so long as capital is there.
I just think I do want to say for the record that my girlfriend says
I
the same
don't support an industry, and I'm not gonna I have friends who are on OnlyFans and stuff like that. I'm like, girl, get your money, get your bag. If that's what you do, that's what you got to do. It's profitable, and but the thing is, some
terse and swerves that are
it's the thing is, when it comes to sex, I don't want pimps. I don't believe that there should be anybody.
No.
I think you should be an
independent contractors, 100%. There should never be some kind of overarching thing, and if there is, it is controlled by, it is like a worker co-op, and it is that. It's just,
if you're a sex worker and you have a boss, you're not a sex worker. You're being trafficked.
Or unions or unionization. That's probably the best one.
I believe that sex workers can have good unions, but the thing is that it's amongst workers. I don't believe that there should be a boss. I think that once you implement any kind of structure hierarchy that puts anybody on top of anybody, any hierarchy, it becomes exploitative, and it becomes sex trafficking fundamentally. And but the thing is that I support sex workers and all the plight they go through under capital. I support but I don't support the industry that abuses them, because 79% of sex workers have been assaulted and have been brutalized. And also,
I'm sorry I've been so a pain in the ass on this. It's just I've had I've had conversations about this with other people who say, "Oh, I don't demonize sex work, I just demonize the industry." But there's very much a fine line between also them hating the sex workers too. You know what I mean?
No, I don't hate sex workers. If you're a sex worker, get your bag, do what you got to do. I just don't want you to have a boss. I am fundamentally going to have a problem with that. If I hear that you have a boss, or if I hear that you're making cuts with anybody, get out. No, that's it. And then, but as far as
that is, unless you're doing it with someone who is unless you hired someone to do it with you or something like that.
Unless you're in a team. I'm not talking about the sex workers who are having. I'm not talking about the sex workers who are having sex with each other. I'm talking about working under a company. I personally, I would rather hear somebody go into OnlyFans than Pornhub. And Pornhub has their fucking problem.
Oh my god, OnlyFans all the way. Let people always do that shit. That's that is short of dickheads Andrew Andrew Tate and shit. I wish OnlyFans would implement a thing where it's you can only have one bank account tied to an account, or even better, tied to a social security number.
And this is probably the first time.
Don't do that. Use ID Me or something, one of the things the government
uses. And this is probably the first time I'm going to talk about this online. But the thing is, when it comes to sex work, it's very easy to get trafficked in it. It's very easy to not understand that you're being trafficked. But for me, when I say I don't support the industry that abuses them, I just mean I don't consume porn.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't date somebody that consumes porn, because even with OnlyFans, you have no idea the situation that person is in. You have no idea where the money's going. You have no idea if they're safe. Like, you don't know this person. And if you need to watch porn to, like, I personally feel like after 18, you shouldn't be watching porn anymore. Like, it's not good for you. It's not good to commodify the human body like that. It's not good to support in an industry that systematically abuses its workers.
I say that if you're above 18, like if you're gonna consume porn, make sure it's like OnlyFans or Fansleans exclusively.
Yeah, but even with OnlyFans, you have no idea what situation that person is in.
This is true. I mean, back when I was like looking at OnlyFans and stuff, like there's generally I've since stopped, but the like porn altogether. But I will say that like there are certain at least like if they are the type of like people that have like they're on TikTok or something, and they're like posting like normal videos and stuff too, that's different. Like I feel like
my only gripe.
But even then, I genuinely thought that. But then the Amaranth shit happened, and and then like that, and like it looked like, and that went out the fucking window.
My only gripe with third wave feminism is that they tend to confuse sexual liberation with sexual exploitation.
Yeah.
Like just because somebody is able to make money off of their body doesn't necessarily mean that they should. It doesn't mean that we should live in a system that supports that. Yes, sex work is always going to be here. We have to, we should legalize sex work, and we should, destigmatize it, because it's not these people's fault that there's a market for this, and that there's a whole class of people that have to become sex workers, because, we're living in capital. People are poor. Most people go into sex work out of financial hardship. Like, not many people wake up every day and say, I'm going to be a porn star. Like, that's usually not their plan A. And so that doesn't mean it's not a respectable job. That just means that it's a failure under a system of capitalism. And, we have to deal with the ramifications of that. And I don't think that that class of people should be punished for existing. Because, we live in a society that, but we live in a society that allows for it. And we live in a society that wants it. And I don't think
if we live in a society that incentivizes the exploitation of the human body in a sexual manner, then there shouldn't be any roadblocks. And can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. What I was saying was, if we're going to live in a society where the exploitation of the human body in a sexual nature is something that is commodified, then there shouldn't be any type of demonization or lack of protections for people in that line of work. If we're going to exist in a system for the time being that incentivizes sex work to be something that exists, the sex workers should be unionized and protected by law.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because we do live in that reality. It's just like, for me, I personally don't feel like a feminist if I'm watching content where I'm seeing women get brutalized, or I'm seeing women having to commodify themselves to survive. Like, as much as they should be able to do that to survive under the system of capitalism, I don't want to watch that. And I think it's weird if you can derive pleasure from it, because if you think about the inherent structures of why that person is there, and like, the kind of tragedy of the oppression they're living under, to be in that, like, in that space, it's just like, I used to derive pleasure from it, because when you're a kid, you don't understand these consequences and these bigger.
I'll also argue most adults don't understand the nuances of it either.
But yeah, the whole barely legal category is probably a child. There's no way to know whether or not that's actually a child, and that's why I bring up from the American Bar Association, 1.8 million children have been found into pornography. there was this child porn website had over like 300 million like clicks on it. And the thing is with like child pornography, how they do this, it's a lot of peer-to-peer sharing, like Tor browsers and stuff. But the other thing too is to be part of these websites, you have to make content to be part of it. So, and the thing is that a lot of these people get baited into it because a lot of the like beauty standards, but a lot of the things that porn wants you to see is skinny, brutalized women, and then later that's going to like, because I remember Ali Wong talked about it on her comedy special where she was saying when you watch porn, there's this Pavlovian conditioning that goes on where you crave images that get sicker and sicker and sicker, and eventually the sickest image is going to be a child.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I just personally think it's a slippery slope that I personally don't want to engage with, and for like, and so like that's why this person pissed me off when he was talking about it. He's like, well, porn can be like liberated too, and it's like I literally like am showing him all these studies about how porn is like literally like one of the most like damaging industries to women and children, and gay people too, but and he just didn't want to hear it. Like he didn't want to hear the nuance of the conversation. He just wanted to hear like I'm a feminist because I support women fucking in front of a camera, and that's all he like wants to think about feminism as, like, and sexual liberation as.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sex workers should be able to have like all the workers' rights that you have in like for plumbers unions. You know what I mean? Like it's a job.
Well, even then, like plumbers aren't really like, and I think we have a plumber in chat while we're at it. But like one of the fucking things about like, and that's the thing about unions. Like you have like unions are like most that's the thing. Like most tradespeople are not in the union, and because because like there's been such a push, like because of fucking Reagan and shit, to kill unions, and it's just it's
like unions can afford lawyers.
Right, and also like one of the things that companies will routinely do is they will offer contracts with stipulations like everybody that joins like the union after this date or any like can only get paid this much amount of money, or the starting pay for people like going forward is like this amount of money or some shit. And it's basically like boomers signing away the fucking future of the next generation for like their own comfort right now. It's like the entirety of the American political system has coalesced into making like a smooth sailing cruise to the grave for all the boomers at the expense of basically everybody else. I think it's something like 80% of the wealth in the United States is like controlled by people over the retirement age, and only and only something like 4% of people under the age of 40 are in Congress, even though those are the majority of people who are like suffering to giving these boomers the cushy lives that they're basically robbing our future so they can have a happy little present.
Honestly, I feel like after 60 you should not be in office. Sorry. I after think 60 you're out of fucking touch.
I think like it's the thing is that like I understand that like I'm there is like the like the.
Have you been seeing Glitch McConnell?
Oh my god, don't get me fucking started. Do you know what I did for a fucking... So every Monday I put out a political video.
I told my uncle about that joke, Glitch McConnell, and my uncle was laughing his fucking ass off.
It's a really good one. I was I do
I love the fucking millennials.
I do a fucking political video every Monday on my YouTube channel, and one of the videos I did was like what do I think about gay people, and then it's literally like they're fucking people. What are you on about? Here's a video of here's 15 minutes of Mitch McConnell head photoshopped on a turtle with the fucking TikTok song. Yes, I'm an evil left-wing sheeple working for the like that, and that's just on repeat for 6 minutes. I'll send you the video. It's fucking hilarious. Gotta go. All right, hold on.
He's just screaming and acting like a baby. But no, yeah, I'm like, I'll be real. Like, I think if you're over the age of 60, you're out of fucking touch. You need to get out of office. Like, you're not gonna be here for the fucking shit that you're writing into law. So I don't care what you think about it.
That's the point. They don't give a shit. That's the point. Like here's the thing. The it's because they believe that the rapture's coming and that fighting and making the world a better place. They believe that the rapture's coming and suffering is virtuous. So why would they want the government to make people's lives better when that means that they're less godly? You're in Texas. You live in El Paso. You know.
No, suffering for ye and not for me. Like,
socialism for thee and not for me.
Well, it's like so stupid out here in Texas because like the thing is that what frustrates me the most about Texas is most people in like bigger cities are pretty blue, but the thing is like it's the Republicans who have the voter turnout, and
it's gerrymandered to fuck.
Yeah, it's gerrymandered as fuck. But like when like I'm sorry, like Texas turned gerrymandering into a fucking art form out here. Like they're good at it. Like it's so awful, but it's like I've seen these fucking maps, and I almost have fucking respect for like the art form at a certain point because it's just like damn. But when Beto O'Rourke was running,
God, can we fucking talk about him? Ugh,
he's hot.
I know. I'm sure you think he is, but man, like, why the fuck did he?
He looks like a Kennedy. Like,
I just want to know why. Like, listen. There were so many things he could have made his pet issue. It's literally fucking guns that like he could have fucking knocked Greg Abbott out of the gubernatorialship if he just didn't make guns the fucking thing, man.
Yeah. Well, Beto O'Rourke, he's got clout and like he's from El Paso and like we fucking love him. But he just doesn't know that he's like too like it's like, dude, you can't say certain shit in Texas and expect to get any votes. Like you can't talk about like, you know, we need gun reform like in Texas. Are you out of your mind? Just focus on abortion. Focus on the school systems. Like go for something safe to talk about. But
what's your opinion of like the way trans people have been treated in Florida recently?
They've been treated awfully. It's getting worse and worse. Because they passed laws now where you can only be in drag in your club, and so say for example, if a drag queen is going to the parking lot to her club to do a show, she can get arrested, and it's fucking awful because they're criminalizing an art form, and when it comes to trans rights, that's a joke out here. And the thing is, the vast majority of homeless youth in Texas is gay, especially trans kids. Because for whatever reason, it's okay to kick out your kid just for being gay. That's somehow not negligence or abuse.
I mean, Christians have been kicking their kids out on their ass because they did something wrong for years. The average American evangelical treats children like the current legal structure of this country treats children like property more than people. You have less rights as a child in a public school than you do as an adult in prison.
Shit, that's true. Well, at least in prison, I mean, at least in school, you don't get thrown into the hole.
True. I don't know. Like, there was a fucking school out of, I think, Ohio recently that literally had something called the hole, where it was like a little hallway with like with a hallway with like a bunch of tiny rooms with nothing in them, and then they would just put the kids in there for like solitary confinement until they chilled the fuck out.
I think Beto focused on like guns a lot because school shootings are so bad in Texas, and like school shooting threats and stuff like that. And it just like sucks because like say for example, like just recently at like a local high school that I go to, there was like a threat for a shootout, and the cops had to secure the place and everything. And then there was the El Paso Walmart shooting. What sucked about the El Paso Walmart shooting is that the motherfucker wasn't even from here. He was from Oklahoma or something. And he drove, and I read his manifesto on 8chan. He explicitly came here with the purpose to kill Mexican people. And like, you know, and he was like super into Trump and stuff like that. Like, there's...
Was that the dude that like the media wouldn't call him a Nazi even though they showed a picture with a swastika tattooed on his chest?
Yeah. Well, and also he just got sentenced to like 70 years in prison.
I just want to know, what is it about like mainstream media like not willing to call someone like a Nazi when they are blatantly a Nazi? Like, I understand like there's an alleged they had the allegedly to cover themselves legally, but like yeah. I don't fucking know.
Well, I read his 8chan shit. He was talking about how you're a race traitor if you have sex with Mexican women, and it's just on some racist shit.
The Mexican women are hot though.
I know. It just sounds like he couldn't get laid. It just sounds like some fucking
it sounds like it sounds like a skill issue.
It sounds like a skill issue. But yeah, he just got sentenced to prison, and there was
like that's the thing about most of these fucking incel types, right? Like, it's just skill issues. Like shower, don't treat women like objects, and like look people in the eye. That's all you have to fucking do to make friends and shit that aren't your little incel-y 4chan buddies.
Yeah, well, and the thing is like...
Also, it's like all of these fucking incel-y types, they like talk about how like, oh, I'm ugly, like, oh, like all this stuff, like, I'm like, and I see a picture of him, and I'm like, you're normal looking.
I've been on incel forums out of like morbid curiosity, and I used to just like fucking grift on this shit, and like just like I wouldn't comment anything or whatever, but I would just look, and like it was so weird when like that incel like community was getting really popular online in like the 2000s, and
what, Kiwi
I saw a
farms?
documentary on it, but yeah, well, I saw a documentary on it, and then I decided to like look on these forums like incel.me and shit, and so it was weird how much they like woe about not having a girlfriend and being celibate, but how much they hate women. It's like, this is not the route to
maybe if
laid,
you didn't
dude.
hate women, you'd be like, one would want to suck your dick. I'm just saying.
There was this dude. I saw this post. And this guy was saying that every time he saw a pregnant woman, he wanted to beat the shit out of her. Because
I wonder why you're involuntarily celibate.
Yeah, where he was just like, fuck women for getting pregnant and not fucking me. Like,
I'm just like, get out of your mother's basement and touch grass. You can get a stick of Old Spice Bear Glove, which smells nice, for $6.99. You can shower and go to like a fucking hop on Tinder, wear a cardigan, and you'll be golden. Jesus Christ.
The amount of these men who hate women, but specifically the vitriol I would see towards pregnant women. Like, the way that they would talk about pregnant women is like they were fucking incubators that didn't deserve to fucking breathe. And like, then they would be like, it's even worse if she's having another daughter. Like, and it's... And also, like, their belief that they should have a government-mandated girlfriend and stuff like that. And it's just like, you wonder why women don't want to fuck you when you literally talk about them like they're property, like you're entitled to sex, like you're entitled to somebody else's body, and then they call them femoids and shit, and I'm just like, honestly, like,
and they think that
start eating these dudes up.
They think that they're insulting you or some shit when they call me like a fucking chud or some shit. I don't fucking know, and it's like,
what?
I don't fucking know what they would call me, like. But point is that like they talk
I think they would just call you a cuck, because they would be like, surely your girlfriend is actually like fucking a chad behind your back. Like, surely a woman's not going to be into a man who's intellectual. Women don't like intellectual men. They just want tall, like, arrogant men. Like, I mean,
and I'm just like, are you a tall, arrogant man that gets pussy? No. Which one of us is the one that's actually been inside one before? Here. So maybe you're right. Maybe my girlfriend is fucking around. But you want to know, out of the two of us, who actually has gotten laid? Me. So maybe I'm more of an authority on what it takes to like get a woman to want to sleep with you than the fucking dude palling around on incel forums. Suck my dick.
But yeah, they're always like, and they're so superficial. They think that like everything comes down to like looks, like,
I've learned how to like embody the female gaze on some level, and man, when I tell you that the shit it does in my relationship is immaculate, it's great.
Wait, what?
Like, it's immaculate. It's great. Like
immaculate. You went out.
Oh, sorry. Like learning how to embody more of the female gaze.
Well,
I'm spit some game. If you are like some kind of like fucking like guy, like young guy, and you know, and you've been strong enough to make it to this point in the 2.5 hour podcast at this point, I'm gonna spit some game that you deserve to hear. All right. First of all, shower, wash your feet, and you taint everything.
Axe spray is not a shower.
Axe spray is not a shower, and you should never want to smell like anything, if you want some kind of cologne, get something from Bath and Body Works. I particularly like the sea salt scent that they have.
You were talking about this the other day.
Yep.
Oh, dude.
Second of all, buy sweaters and wear cardigans.
You were telling me you were like, find a man who wears a cardigan. Dude, so I went on this date yesterday. Not a terrible dude, but like, Jesus Christ. Like, did he smell like a fucking, like, it's not that hard to like figure out like what scents work for you. I just didn't like the way he smelled. He just smelled like he didn't know, like, he smelled like he didn't wear deodorant. He smelled like he bought like 3-in-1 like body wash and shampoo. And like, I don't know how much men have to hear this. Your smell is the most important thing.
And here's the thing: 3-in-1 body wash isn't actually that much of a fucking problem, so long as you're like using it everywhere and you're wearing deodorant.
It's a problem. It's not good. Like, it.
I mean, granted, I use shampoo and conditioner, but that's also because I have an anxiety about losing my hair. So.
Wait, some men don't wash them. Well, yeah, some men don't wash their feet. Oh my god, wash your legs too. Holy shit! Like.
Yep. Because here's the thing, like this might be a little gross because I'm looking at it as like I want to speak to like some like straight guys listening here. Imagine if you like blowjobs are getting head period, whether you're giving or receiving, like is awesome. Here's the thing: most women are cognizant about what shit's gonna be like when you're down there. Please, for the love of God, show that same courtesy. Like first of all, that fucking Bath and Body Works scent that I was talking about. After you've done if you were like going back to someone's apartment and you go to whatever, you go to the bathroom and you do a gentleman's wash. You do a gentleman's wash, and if you're really smart, you'll take like a little like thin thing that you keep in your pocket of a little cologne, like that's, but not like fucking cologne that you think smells good. Like, if you genuinely don't have any fucking idea, take one of the other women in your life, your sister, your mom, your cousin, your best friend, whatever, and have them sniff that shit, and if they don't approve it, don't fucking get it.
Yeah, this dude didn't smell like...
Because here's the thing. I know it seems sad to say that, but, like, I gotta be honest with you, I genuinely don't have any fucking idea. I didn't have genuinely any fucking idea what smelled good to women, like, as a guy. So, like,
it's like you have to think about, like, what smells good on you. Like, what do you want to smell like? And the thing is, it's like, smell is so important because, like, I went on a date with this dude and I didn't put out, like, for like a lot of reasons, but if I'm going to talk about specifically the smell, like, he didn't smell good. I mean, he didn't smell fucking atrocious, but he just didn't smell good. Like, I was just like, you decided to go on a date today and smelled like that? Like,
back when I was still single, and on the date I met her on, my partner on, every subsequent time, like, up until, like, I was, like, staying over at her house and shit, like, and even that, like, I didn't dole out. I tried to smell somewhat nice, deodorant, like smell, like, spray to smell nice, shower beforehand, like, brush your teeth, like basic shit, like if you were going to go to a job interview and it was the type of job interview where you had to wear a shirt and tie, what kind of sanitary shit would you do to yourself? Like,
yeah, do the same thing for a date, man. And the fact that, like, he didn't smell good just from, like, him, like, trying to, like, get close to me and put his arm around me, and I was already like, oh, I don't like the way he smells. I wasn't gonna put out, like, because he probably doesn't smell good down there either. Like,
no, why on God's green earth would you want to put your dick on someone's knob, that, like, your mouth on someone's knob who fucking smelled like death?
Oh, when dudes don't know how to brush their fucking teeth, like, fucking floss. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How are you in your fucking 20s and don't know how to floss?
And here's the tip. If you generally have a problem, if you for some reason you don't know how to brush your teeth, go on Amazon and get the 3-sided toothbrushes. They do all 3 of your shit at once. And this is just for anybody, not just for smelling. Like, generally, it's great because you don't have to fucking think about it. It just does all of it. And if you absolutely can't do the fucking thing, like flossing or whatever, get a fucking water pick. Do that shit.
Also use Sensodyne toothpaste because you don't want to fuck up your enamel.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say is, and here's the thing. And here's the other thing I want to tell guys and for any girls too who don't do it. Always carry wet wipes on your person.
Yes. Because
I shit you not, if there's one thing on this planet that aggravates me to no fucking end, is sitting in a fucking public bathroom with shitty toilet paper, wiping my ass for 10 minutes because there's still fucking skids coming off of that shit, and then like being like, fuck it, I have to catch this plane, and then my asshole's caked with shit until I'm able to get to my girlfriend's and shower, and it's the worst thing on the planet. Like always, for the love of God, carry this shit with you, because nothing is more comfortable than having a clean asshole, and for God's sake. Like, if we live in a country that hated the French, and that's why we don't have bidets, so yeah, we have to make do with in other ways.
Is that why we don't have bidets? Because
yes, French phobia and shit. It's because the fucking anti-federalists were pro-British back during and won out. The Federalist Party dissolved. Jefferson became the last, was resurgent. It was anti-federalists were a very nationalist oriented party. They preferred working with the British than the French because they were lazy and didn't want to learn a new language.
Just connect to bidets.
Because and this led to a culture of anti-French sentiment.
Or
in the attempt to sort of in the zeitgeist of the American people, to associate the British, even though we just fought a fucking war with them.
But Americans are like, I'd rather have a caked asshole than be like the French.
Literally, well, bidets have been around in France for over hundreds of years, and it's just like by the time it was very that the anti-French sentiment was just anything that was French. They were just there was just not a lot of cultural signifiers. It was very much British, and the British didn't have bidets because the English are animals. So it's my buddy Liam,
So he lives in Bristol, and him and his buddies, they were all drunk, like, on the phone
Bless his
with me,
heart.
and they were talking about... Sorry?
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart? Being in Bristol?
Yeah.
Oh, Liam, I posted that TikTok about him where it's like when other friends tell you, like, I love you, it's gonna be a good day, and he's like, you, my dear, need to commit arson. Like...
Oh no, that's not what I was talking about. I meant bless your heart in like the passive aggressive southerner way toward towards living in Bristol.
Oh, well, he loves Bristol actually. I mean, well, right now I think he's in Birmingham.
How would you love living in England? Have you seen what they put on their fries?
No, it's because Bristol has like a big party culture, and they also have this like block that's like privately owned, and like this person doesn't give a shit about it, so people just do drugs there and party, and as long as the private owner doesn't call the cops, like the yard can't do anything about it. So like it's like Bristol is like that. Bristol is fucking like is lit as far as like he's told me. But anyways, he was talking to his friends about like if you want to talk about anti-French sentiment, even with the British. So he's not British, he's Irish. But him and his friends, they were talking about how like they were talking about sex, and they were talking about, you know, like when they've traveled, you know, whatever, and like hooking up with women and whatever, and then they were just like, what like type of woman from what country would you not have sex with again? And they all were just like French. Like,
well, no, like the U.S. Army had a fucking pamphlet to give to soldiers and shit, to saying how to react when a French. It was basically 112 solutions for dealing with French people, and it was basically like how to react when a French person's being an asshole or they're being terrible.
Well,
it was a response that was given to their officer corps for them to respond to soldiers bitching about the locals.
Well, like, it's because the French, so like they were just like, they were making fun of French women, and like even the women in the group were making fun of French men because they're just like, oh, it's so annoying when we're having sex, and they're like, wee. And they're just like, God, they're like, shut the fuck up. And then they were just also saying like the French are like snobby, they're pompous, they like, you know, they think that they're like the cultural epicenter of Europe, and
they did cut the head off their monarch, so they got that going for them.
Yeah, well, and then but he's also like, he's just like, fuck the French, like, and fuck the Pico Agreement, like, and then because he's just like, every time the French want to complain about Americans, and then or like the Middle East, it's like, didn't you destabilize the Middle East with the Pico Agreement? Like, shut up, like, and
no. Oh wait, you're talking about interventionalism and shit, and criticizing American interventionalism, Africa, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, it's because the French, like, so basically, like, there's just a lot of reasons to hate the French, and I was just telling Liam, and I was like, yeah, like, I think when I go to Europe, like, I want to like see like Paris or Florence or whatever. And he's like, fuck the French, and then
as someone who has been to Paris himself, yeah.
Well, and I think that he pissed off a girl one time because like he was probably like I think he was just fucking around, and then but I think he pissed off a girl one time because like she was like wondering if they could be serious, and he was like, "Nah, you're French." Like
that, out of pocket, but funny, and I understand. It's like I love my buddy Tom, and I love his new wife Emma. She's a sweetheart, and I love her to death. And she's definitely the exception to this rule. But I'm very glad that I had met her and I knew her before like I found out she was from New Jersey.
Oh, but the guy that I went out with yesterday, so because we were talking, and he like the other reason I don't want to go out with him again is he kissed me, and it was a first date, like holy shit, like chill, and but yeah, like he was like, yeah, I'm French. I'm like, yeah, I can tell by the way you tried to kiss me, holy shit, like because he just like immediately was telling me like fucking chill, like tongue is nice, like after the third date when we've gotten to know each other, like. Yeah, like I was like, what kind
question,
of
was this a date for you looking for a relationship, or was this a date for you trying to get your back blown out?
I was going on the date because I thought like he was like cool, and I wasn't necessarily trying to get my back blown. It's like, you know, we like decided to go out to dinner, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be nice, you know, and then and I don't want to say too much about him, but like he seemed cool, he seemed whatever, but like he just seemed like Like I might have if he smelled better and didn't move so fast, I might have let him hit it after like the third date. But I'm just not like that. Like I don't really like hookup culture. Like go for it if you want to do that. Like if you want to like like it's none of my business what somebody else does with their body. I don't care. Like for me, I'm not really into like the whole like hooking up on the first date and stuff like that. Especially like the older I get, like so like and I made that pretty clear to him. So it really like freaked me out when he kissed me, and I was like, I literally told you like I don't like, and so yeah, it's like for me, it's like I feel like I have to like get to know somebody pretty well before I'm like physically intimate with them. So, and I made that very clear, and that's why I'm not going to go on a date with him again because it's just like I made it very clear that I need to like get to know somebody pretty well, and like just having dinner with you and a movie is not getting to know you well enough for me. Like I don't like I don't know. Like I want to know like your mom's middle name or your fucking uh where your fucking polling place is before I fuck you. You know what I mean? Like there's just like I don't know. My boundaries are just like I want to get to know somebody pretty well before like touching ensues. Like it even like because it's not necessarily that I was looking for a relationship. Like I did want to go on the date. I did want to get to know him, but I feel like a lot of people date that way where they're just like, oh, we're going on a date, therefore this means I'm trying to get into a relationship or we're trying to fuck. And it's like, or we could just be trying to get to know each other.
I feel like I guess it's see because like me because like I'm guilty of like being on some of that like creepy super forward shit. Like if I didn't do such a good job like at like making a good first couple impressions with my girlfriend, the fact that I said I love you on the third date while I'm in her like probably wasn't. She said, like, yeah, you're lucky I liked
like,
you.
If you want to move fast, good for you. That's fine. Go for it. If you guys are in love, falling in love, really good, go for it.
No. Well, this was 3 years ago.
This
was 3 years ago. Like she told me herself, like, like if I didn't like you, I was about this close to like because I understand now because like I understand how that's like weird and creepy and shit. But like I don't know. At the end. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Well, the thing is like, that's fine if you want to fall in love really fast and get laid on the like and tell you sure you love her while you're inside her on the third date. Go for it. I don't care. Like it's just for me. It's like with my first my ex-husband, my only husband, my first husband, whatever. But like with him, it was like literally I think I told you I was 19. We went on one date and he proposed to me, and it was very much like I'm in love with you. This is it. Blah blah blah. And it was easy to fall for that. It was easy to be like.
And you didn't listen to a single thing your mother told you trying to get you the fuck out of that, did you? No, you did not. And you paid the consequences for it. Did you? How was expensive with that divorce? Oh Lord.
Well, actually, it wasn't that expensive for me because like I filed pro se and I paid $350 to the Paso County courthouse. And he paid $15,000 to contest the divorce with a lawyer that thought I couldn't read. But point is, if I hadn't figured out how to use the law library,
he thought you could read. What the fuck?
Yeah, he kept sending me these decrees where he was like, "Oh, and Julia Castillo is going to pay for, half of the attorney fees." I'm like, "No, I'm not. You're not my attorney. I'm representing myself. I'm pro se. Like, I'm my own attorney. I'm not paying you for shit that you're not doing for me." And it's not like I wasn't writing up my own decrees. Like I knew how to use the law library. And this motherfucker was seething because he couldn't believe that I was like smart enough to realize that he wasn't my attorney. I'm my own attorney. And but yeah, it was fucking bullshit. But the thing is like I'm just very much like even if somebody was the one, like you know what I mean? Like even if I had that feeling of like, oh maybe this person's the one, if things started moving way too fast, I'm way too traumatized now for that to let that shit slide. Like
I do want to be clear that any speed slower than light speed is appropriate compared to that first marriage.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that if a guy comes to you and says, "Hey, you want to go steady after like a few months?" That's normal-ish. Chill. Don't let the trauma control you.
Well, it's because he was in the army too, and like,
you know that the only reason he wanted, like, one of the only reasons he wanted to marry your ass was because you were young, naive, and he wanted the fuck out the barracks. He wanted out the fucking barracks.
He wanted out of the barracks, and he wanted to fucking be. He wanted and he wanted a fucking like. Somebody's like, how soon is this over? But yeah, no, he wanted a. Like, he just wanted control, and he wanted like a pet. Like he wanted a pet that got him money from the government. That's all it was. But the thing is like, yeah. So we started talking online, which is like another thing too. Which is like, I'm so weird about dating apps now because I'm just like, how well did that go last time? So I met him on a dating app.
I'm just happy that I don't need to ever look at a dating app ever again. I found my life partner. I'm happy.
Good for you. But yeah, we were talking for like 2 weeks, and he was already being like, I'm so into you, blah 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 blah, and like getting me to talk about my life, and and just saying whatever he needed to say to make me feel special. And then he asked me to go on a date. We first meet up and we go to Chipotle just to so he can get some food, and then we go to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And as soon as we see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he's already all over me. He's already like, I'm falling in love with you, blah blah blah. And the next thing I know, we go to Barnes and Noble because he was like, what's the way to your heart? And I was like, oh, well, I really like books. So he takes me straight to Barnes and Noble, buys me like 5 books, nice copies of
really wanted out of the barracks.
Yeah,
because hardcover books expensive.
Yeah, and hardcovers. Yeah, like hardcovers, nice editions of Mary Shelley Frankenstein. And then just being like, these are books that I really love that I want you to read that he never fucking read. He was just trying to look cool. And then we go back to his place. He blows my fucking back out. Like, I'll give him that. He's good in bed. And then by morning, he's just like, I love you. And I was like, okay, I love you too. Like, cool. Like, this is a lot. And then he was just like, marry me. And I was like, we just met. And he was like, yeah, but you said you love me. And we have the rest of our lives to get to know each other. Like, I know you're the one. Why don't you know I'm the one? Like, marry me.
Narcissist.
If you don't marry me, that means you don't love me as much as I love you. Like, literally, like. And so now, going into regular schmegular relationships, it's like, it's hard to like.
Trauma is just trauma. It's just trauma.
Yeah, well, and then with this dude, what pissed me off was I explicitly told you I don't want to kiss on the first date. I explicitly told, and so I tell him to slow down, and then he's like putting his arm around me, and I just feel smothered, and it's like, how is me telling you like slow down is like, okay, let me just move on to a different way to show affection, like that I didn't ask for.
That's rough. But regardless, we have been going for 3 hours. Time flies. So
thank you for having me.
No, absolutely, and stick around. We're not done chit-chatting just yet, but I wanted to put a definitive end to the podcast first. This has been the High Soapbox. Thank you, Jules, for joining us again. Can you drop your socials real quick? Specifically your podcast, of course.
Yeah, it's Problematic Pop Culture. A hyphen between pop and culture. On Spotify.
I will try my damnedest to make sure that is in the description on both the podcast description and on the YouTube description as well.
Yeah, Problematic Pop Culture on Spotify, also on YouTube. If you go to our Spotify in the description, you're gonna find the link tree that's gonna send you to my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok. I doubt you're gonna find another podcast called Problematic Pop Culture. So that's it.
Yep.
That's the benefit to our name is that I've never seen anything similar to it.
Yeah, that was kind of my mindset with my podcast, which is called I Can't Shut Up Unless You Tell Me to. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Me and Jules are going to be having a conversation with another associate of mine who I think Jules is really going to like talking to. That conversation is going to be a Discord membership exclusive. If you want to support the podcast and all of my content creation and helping a brother out, please consider joining. So it costs $3.99 and you get early access to content, exclusive content, and a bunch of other fun stuff too. Some cute little soundboards and stuff. But yeah, plug, smug, shameless plug. Thank you all for listening, and Jules, thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Thank you.